Bob Saleh did not deserve this. He may be a terrible head coach, but God damn it, he should not have been the fall guy for the New York Jets.
I think the Niners scream out pretender to me, honestly. I really do believe there's a 0% chance they win the Super Bowl.
Tyreek Hill is the biggest bust in fantasy football, point blank, period. What's up, everybody? And welcome back to the BallGame podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Tom.
I'm Chris.
I'm Pete.
As you can see, we have Pete on the couch today.
Looking
for more than just the podcast.
Looking sharper than any of us have ever looked on the podcast.
You know, we got to make time. You know, just got out of work. You know
He's here for more than just the podcast today.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
What do you mean by that?
Don't worry about it. So, as one career begins in the AFC East, another one ends. We're going to talk about contenders, pretenders in the NFL, with a bunch of teams being 2-3 at the current moment. We're going to talk about some fantasy football stuff, redraft especially, and a bunch of guys that are busting a whole bunch. So, gonna be a fun podcast, a whole lot to talk about. But of course, first things first, the Jets gonna jet. Nothing new at MetLife Stadium. Once again, we move on to another head coach and scapegoat the wrong guy. Bob Saleh did not deserve this. He may be a terrible head coach, but God damn it, he should not have been the fall guy for the New York Jets. I'll let you guys sound off. I have a bunch of stuff to say too, but simply put, the Jets, once again, failed miserably. And that's nothing new here.
Pete, you want to take it here? You're the Jet fan. You're the Jet fan on the couch.
Dude,
so
it's I got to be a man of few words in this situation, because if I'm not, then you know, I might have a bit of a tangent, but this is
that's kind of what we do here.
This is I'm very upset. Like Matt said, I don't think he necessarily deserved it. Reason being is, you know, at the end of the day, you're a team, and I know one man is the head coach, but you're a team. There's a lot of different parts of a team that make, you know, them successful. So to just point the finger at one man who's put everything into this team is a little bit crazy to me. And, you know, aside from, like, you know, the fact of it happening, a little bit deeper, the way it happened, I think is what is more upsetting whether you're a Jets fan or not. It's just the way it happened and the rumors of how it happened. Of course, we weren't in the office while that conversation was happening, but of course, we also heard rumors that are most likely true of how it happened. And I think it could have been done a little bit more. You know, it could have been a better farewell than the way they did it.
Yeah, Two things can be true. He could be bad at his job. He wasn't a good head coach. But he also should have been the guy. He should have been the guy in this situation specifically. So, yeah, you guys go ahead.
I mean, there's a lot that went into this decision, and what led us here, what led the Jets here. First of all, just firing your coach midseason is just not a way to compete for a Super Bowl, and that's what the Jets want to do. They want to win a Super Bowl, and historically,
are you sure?
I mean, so they say. You know, they don't. You know, they say
Aaron
one thing
Rodgers,
and do another.
Yeah, he don't got a lot more time. You know, he wants it more than anybody.
His contract's done after this year.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just, this is it. Like, one opportunity, man. Like,
but it's just like,
didn't he extend?
No, he's done after this year.
No, man.
We're
I'm like pretty sure. Did he extend?
I don't think so.
I thought he extended, but he might not.
I'll look real quick.
We're 5 games into the season, and like it's been kind of a roller coaster for the Jets. I mean, week 1 they went out on primetime and failed miserably. But you know, what did the Jets fans come out here and say? I'm not blaming all the Jets fans, because you know there's some mixed feelings here amongst the Jets community.
Whoa.
But we got out here and said, all right, Rodgers made it through a game. That's really all I can ask.
Oh, man. Dude.
And now he's got to shake the rust off. And he had to shake the rust off. Okay.
And it was against the Niners.
Right. And it was against the Niners. And I mean, you were a run funnel.
Poor guy is also like limping like every other play. I'm like, dude, you got us at the edge of our seats.
Oh, okay.
It was a 3-year deal. I don't know why I thought it was a 2-year deal.
No, I think they extended him this offseason.
So he has one more year after this.
Extension. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like he's...
it says he signed a 3-year deal.
Oh, okay.
So, on Sports
So then week 2, they pull out a close one against the Titans, and you know it's like, all right, it wasn't pretty, but we got to win. And then week 3, we're winning the Super Bowl. We stomped out the Patriots. Rodgers looked great. The offense looked great. The offensive line looked great. You know, the defense looked great. We're in the Super Bowl. And then week 4 is a disaster. You go out and lose to the Broncos at home, 10-9. It's pouring rain. It's an outlier game. No, you don't fire your coach there. Instead, you go to London, You make every mistake possible, and still the game comes down to a game-winning drive. And that's when you decide to fire your coach? I mean, it's just, I feel like the main issues the Jets were having were, if they weren't fixable, they were treatable, you know? And we were in talks of getting Devontae Adams on this squad and fixing everything. And nope, we're going to fire the coach. We're going to hire our defensive coordinator for now, and we're going to see what he wants to do.
Which is also just another fault.
You go from one defensive mind, a great defensive mind, to a good defensive mind. I mean, he's ran the Jets defense for a few years, and he's been really good at it.
Has he ran the Jets
the Jets defense,
right.
though?
Maybe not. Okay, fair enough.
He's assisted in running the Jets defense.
Yeah. And before that,
He has a title.
he was the DC for the Falcons for a year, I think. But before that, he's a linebacker coach. He's this and nothing. He's a special teams coach.
I saw some of his highlights today. He played on the Niners.
Played on the Niners for 9 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he had
yeah.
some cool highlights.
He actually
Yeah.
leveled the reporter. I saw that too.
Good
so
for
that
him.
was good.
Yeah,
it's
you
a
need
cool
that in a
highlight.
coach. But I think this goes way back to not just hiring Nathaniel Hackett. This goes back to what you signed up for with Aaron Rodgers. When Aaron Rodgers came to this team, you gave him basically almost full control of the team. Who comes and goes, who's hired, who's signed. You gave him too much power. And that's definitely part of the reason that Rodgers got here. And I know it was get Rodgers at all costs because he's Aaron fucking Rodgers. And I get it. But you came here, and what came after that? Alan Lazard is your wide receiver too. 31 other teams, that's a terrible move. But for the Jets, it made sense because you got Aaron Rodgers. Randall Cobb as your wide receiver 3 at 95 years old. Not a terrible move for 31 other teams, but, we got Aaron Rodgers, so what? Nathaniel Hackett, after the shit storm that was the Denver Broncos.
Yeesh.
Yeah, that's our offensive coordinator. I like what that guy did in Denver. Let's bring him in.
It's
'Cause he worked
fucking
with Rodgers.
absurd. It's fucking absurd. We had Jets fans like Dean who were dead ass excited for that move because he worked with Aaron
Nate
Rodgers.
Hackett.
It's fucking ridiculous. He put on an absolute disaster class when he was head coaching in Denver. It was, in my time watching football, it was one of the more embarrassing head coaching jobs I have ever seen. Easily in the top 3. And the Jets saw him and said, he was Aaron Rodgers' offensive coordinator back in the day. That's our guy. It's fucking ridiculous that the Jets employed him. That's one of their mistakes. And like you mentioned, when you bring in Aaron Rodgers, this is what comes with it. Because we saw it in the end of Green Bay, where things, and Green Bay, a storied franchise in the NFL.
And look at who turned out right.
Who runs things a certain way. Towards the end of that, there was a disconnect because Rodgers wanted things a certain way, and Green Bay's front office, head coach, all that wanted things run a different way, and there was a disconnect there. And now, like you said, we're seeing who's right. We're seeing the Packers thrive. We're seeing LaFleur thrive. Like you mentioned, Tom, if you are serious about winning a Super Bowl, and that should be your only aspiration when you bring in a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers. It's Super Bowl or bust. I don't fucking care that the Jets haven't made the playoffs in however long. I know there's Jets fans that'll say, oh, we just want to get a taste of the playoffs. That's not the aspirations when you bring in Aaron Rodgers. And firing your coach in the middle of the season basically says we are unserious about winning a Super Bowl. And the fact that they made Rob Saleh the fall guy is fucking ridiculous. This man, Aaron Rodgers, went to London and threw 3 interceptions and lost them the game. He is the reason why they lost the game in London. They started off like dog shit, down 17-0. Why? Because he threw 2 interceptions, one of them being a pick 6. Shout out Andy Van Ginkel. I wish he was still on the Dolphins. Bro's a stud.
Yep.
But 2 picks, one of them a pick 6, put them in the hole. Ooh, they're coming back. Garrett Wilson got 22 targets. He caught fucking 13 of them. 14 of those targets were deemed catchable. Aaron Rodgers played like dog shit. And then they have a chance to win the game, and bro handed the ball to Stephon Gilmore. Handed it to him. Threw it right into his chest as if he was the fucking receiver. Aaron Rodgers lost them the game. And what do the Jets do? Fire the head coach. And let me break it to everyone who maybe doesn't understand. Yeah, he's the head coach, but there are certain guys in the NFL who are defensive minds. There are certain guys who are offensive minds. Yes, he's the head guy. He has final say over everything, but the offense was not his problem. It was not his problem. And I know for a fact, I don't want to speak on his name, but I know for a fact that he did not fucking endorse Nathaniel Hackett to be the offensive coordinator for this team. I know it. I know it. LaFleur's brother
Michael Fleur, yeah.
was fine. He was fine.
He was with, like, let's give Mike LaFleur a little bit of fucking
Where is he now?
a reprieve here. I think he went to Los Angeles again. I don't remember for sure, but
Yes. Yeah.
regardless, regardless, the guy had Zach fucking Wilson. And we were very quick to blame Mike LaFleur for that situation when we clearly saw that Zach Wilson's just not good at football. And I think it's ridiculous that as a head coach, like, you are supposed to make your offense coordinator and defense coordinator hires. And then you force a guy onto him who is now the reason that he's losing his job.
And it's fucking ridiculous because, like, have whatever feelings you want about Rob Saleh. Was he a good head coach? Was he a bad head coach? That's up for Jets fans' interpretation, whatever they want to feel. But at the end of the day, there's no Aaron Rodgers without the defense and the system that Robert Saleh built. Robert Saleh built this shit and made this a destination. And they were putting out 7-win seasons when the quarterback play and the offense they had was a 1-win, 2-win football team. They were finding a way to exceed expectations year in and year out. And Robert Saleh built that. And you fire him and let him go for a guy in number 8 who you should have no fucking loyalty to. Yep. He's played 5 games for your organization and been dog shit for 4 of them. He had a good game against the Patriots. That was the Jets' fucking Super Bowl against the Patriots. It's fucking ridiculous. He built this shit from the ground up. He made the Jets a destination that a guy like Aaron Rodgers would want to go to. And then we see the reports that he was going to let go of Nathaniel Hackett, and then 5 minutes later he gets fired. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but clearly Aaron Rodgers has a big say in this. That's just what it is. Like we have to speculate a little bit here, and all of the context clues say
there is evidence pointing to it.
That this is an Aaron Rodgers thing, and it is fucking ridiculous. I don't care who you are. I don't care what accolades you have. You are a player. You are not the coach, and you are not the general manager. And we are seeing what happens when you give a player too much power. And now this team is in shambles because, like we said, no team. The furthest the team has gone, I think I sent it in the chat earlier, was like in the 70s. The Vikings made the NFC Championship after firing.
I heard that Fantasy Footballer said today that no team has made the playoffs after firing with an interim coach.
That's not what ChatGPT told
okay.
Because I was so curious about this shit that I went to ChatGPT to see.
With an interim head coach?
Probably like within
a certain time frame, but like it's not a recipe for success.
No. Do they really think like firing the head coach is what's gonna like take them to the playoffs?
So
like is that what's like actually believed in this situation?
So also, by the way, like
no, because maybe it is.
Like taking care of his side of the ball. Like, first of all,
he's done what you asked him to do.
I'm gonna put it out there right now. I think they managed to win this coming game. Because that always happens after you fire your head coach.
Get fired up for the first game or two, yeah.
You will win your first game after it. It's almost a guarantee. And we're all going to look at it and we're all going to think, and I hope we don't get our minds twisted here. They win that first game. I don't want to come on this podcast. I don't want anyone to come on this podcast and say, oh, maybe they're fine. Rob Saleh is gone. That was the right move. Because, again,
no.
As I said, he's not a good fucking head coach. I firmly believe that. But goddamn it, he is so goddamn good at that side of the football. He is so damn good. He's one of the best in the entire league, if not the best in the entire league at handling his side of the football. And that is what matters. You hired him for that. You hired him to establish a culture. He tried to get a great offensive mind. We could be having such a different conversation right now if LaFleur stood as the offense coordinator. Who has failed on the LaFleur-Shanahan tree so far? You can't fucking name them because it doesn't fucking happen.
Nope.
So simply put, this dude who is likely going to be on the fast track to going to get a head coaching job at some point or another gets fucking fired because Aaron Rodgers wants to come in and take the guy that, as you said, created a disaster class in Denver, who fire Nathaniel Hackett, and in 2 seasons are now looking like a very competent football team. So, yeah, look, 2 things can be true. I don't like Robert Saleh as a head coach, but this is insane.
And then I see some Woody Johnson stuff. Like, this was Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson fired Robert Saleh this morning. Not Joe Douglas, the general manager, who typically should be handling this stuff. The owner fired Robert Saleh. And what a coincidence that I'm reading that Woody Johnson has all these connects with people in London and they lose in London. And that's when the owner steps in and fires the head coach. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
Your job as the owner is not to hire and fire people because this was the wrong decision. They fired the wrong guy. And maybe Woody Johnson was in his feelings because he felt a little bit embarrassed because of the performance they put up in front of his friends in London. Well, guess what? It just wasn't Robert Saleh's fault. It just wasn't. Watch the fucking tape. It was number 8's fault. Like, that's just what it is. They lost the game because of number 8. The Broncos game, we could pass blame around to everyone, sure. But this game in London versus the Vikings, it was on number 8. And that firing the defensive-minded head coach is just fucking ridiculous. The defense has done more than their part.
I don't know. Aaron Rodgers has been really like wearing the pants. Like,
Yes.
It's
from
ridiculous.
day one. And
You're
look,
not LeBron,
yeah,
bro.
and you know what? Like, I'll speak from like a Jets fan's perspective. You know, we got this guy coming in, an absolute dog, projected to turn our franchise around, and there's a tremendous amount of respect on his name. He gets his way in a few ways. Sure, we want to make him happy. We want him here. He brings his guys with him. You know, fucking two
They signed
receivers,
Lazard
whatever.
before they even got him. Now that I
Yeah,
think
I'm
about
pretty
it,
sure it was
okay.
to-
I'm
was
scared.
to
I'm
entice
curious.
him.
No, yeah, but really the point that I'm getting at is they, you know, give everything to this guy that he wants, right? Like, I'm speaking to him as a man, not even like Aaron Rodgers. They're giving this guy everything he pretty much wants, you know what I mean, for the most part.
Got them in a chokehold. Yeah.
And, you know, now it's like, oh, well, I got fucking say. And, you know, I got a lot more say than, well, I think he has like the most say as any quarterback in the league. Like, even with like Patrick Mahomes,
Yes.
arguably, and like Mahomes has every right to have every say in like everything, you know what I mean? Because he's fucking him.
He's got Brady say without Brady accolades.
Exactly. And you could not have worded that better.
So,
Yeah,
I
so-
was gonna, yeah, go ahead.
No, my bad. No, go bananas because I'll keep fucking going.
So I was to piggyback off of that. I was gonna point to when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay in 2020, and that's what you wanted here. You looked at your roster and you said, "Hey, we're a quarterback away. There's a generational talent at quarterback available to plug in here right now and turn us around and make us a Super Bowl competitor." Did Tom Brady go to Tampa and say, "I want Matt Patricia, I want Danny Amendola"? No, he took Gronk, who was still really fucking good at that point in his career.
and that's also so respectable. Like, you know, him and Gronk is like Mahomes going with Kelsey
Right,
somewhere.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So-
Like, it's like the people want to see that.
Did he say,
You know what I mean?
say, I don't want Bruce Arians. I don't want Todd Bowles as the defensive coordinator. I don't want this guy. I don't want. No, he said, this is a team that has made good moves. I trust them to put the best pieces around me. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to do my job.
No.
And I'm going to hope that they can do their job. Aaron Rodgers didn't do that. He said, no, I want to come here and this is how you're going to do this. This is who you're going to bring with me. And it's just not.
And he's
how-
not doing his fucking job.
he's not doing his
And
job.
he's not doing his
Yep.
fucking job.
Yep.
And the other thing though is like that I can give him is he's definitely created a chemistry for the guys on the field. Like, you know, you see in clips like
Yo, is
Like-
my thing like lighting up when I speak?
Yes.
All
yes,
right, thank God.
yeah. we see in like small clips and stuff like
Fourth
that.
one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all good.
I can't see it from here.
Yeah.
We see in clips that like the one place where we have to give Aaron Rodgers credit though is he did come in here, you know, he had all his requests, he was tended to in every single way he wanted, but he did bring like a chemistry to the team when it comes to the players in the field, in the aspect of like, you know, you see like Breece Hall coming up to him, them working together as teammates, not always necessarily listening to what the coaches have to say and succeeding in it sometimes.
Right.
But my point is, it's the little thing there where it's like they have a chemistry, right? And that's definitely important for a team on the field. Obviously, it didn't fucking work out last weekend. You know, whatever chemistry they had fucking didn't matter because we
it's
lost.
not even like a chemistry thing. It's like a hope thing.
It's a
because
hope
of what
thing.
they dealt
Yeah.
with Zach
Right.
Wilson. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
we have this
yeah,
guy
the
now.
hope is creating
They grew up
chemistry.
watching this motherfucker,
Yes.
bro. It's an admiration.
Exactly,
thing.
it's an admiration thing, and the hope is creating the chemistry, and that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to pan out and like move forward into anything. Of course, we want it to, but one thing I did see is I don't know if you guys saw the clip. It was Rob Saleh was like going to give Aaron Rodgers like a hug or something, and then
Oh, yeah.
Rodgers like pushed him away. And like the funny thing about the video is like we don't know the context. I don't know the context. Maybe you guys do. But my point is, what I do see in the video is one man ecstatically happy, Saleh, and Rodgers the complete fucking opposite. Like No.
So the
What-
backstory
what the
on
fuck was that about?
The backstory on that was just Robert Saleh talks about getting a 2-score lead. Like in practice, he's always telling them,
Okay.
get a 2-score lead, get a 2-score lead. Because solid defenses work best when the pass rushers could just pin their ears back and get after the quarterback.
Okay.
I love when
So,
you
like-
say that. That's like one of your famous lines. Pass rushers pinning their ears back. That's like a staple of yours. I love when you say that.
So
That I'm
When-
screwing them shits on.
when they could do that, it allows the solid defense to work to like its best. So Rodgers like pushed him away and said, "There's your 2-score lead," and he was just like hyped up. Like it wasn't like a.
Oh, that wasn't. See, bro, the internet.
And
out
if
of
you read the
context-
lips, he quite literally
Okay,
says like
so-
And then
2-score lead.
so
in the
Rodgers-
tunnel in that same game, they gave each other a hug.
yeah.
Okay, so Rodgers wasn't actually mad at him in that.
Not in that
No,
moment.
That's
No,
why
it was
the
blown
internet-
out of proportion.
Yeah,
The,
yeah,
the
sure.
internet could
That
totally blow
was-
things out of proportion, out of context, and
I don't
but
know
I'm
what
glad
their
I talked about it here because I saw that and I was like, well, that's what people fucking do, man. Like we what the hell are you doing? No, but, you know, we see online like that. You know, I saw that out of context, whatever. Honestly, that threw me off. I don't even remember what the fuck I was gonna say. Anyway,
Nice,
yeah,
Alex.
I don't know. Out of context shit on the internet could definitely fly away. But I saw that this morning and I was like, oh, could that be a reason why he got fired? But like, obviously, that's definitely not the case. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think that's the case. But we also like don't know the relationship between Saleh and Rodgers.
true
Something had to
relationship.
be in the locker
There
room or in
had
the,
to
something
be
had to be
something.
terribly wrong for Solid because no one, a lot of
Saleh's-
people were taken off.
So what
off
I'm
guard by
thinking,
this.
like, I don't even want to take the reports that are out there. What I'm thinking is Saleh has just already proven that he's a very dominant personality. Like we've already seen, he's not afraid to call people out. He's not afraid to get in their face. Like you could tell Saleh's a very dominant personality. And Rodgers is kind of that, like, I don't want to say
He's faked. Like he doesn't want
Fake
people to
tough.
think he's
like-
dominant and that guy, but he just
he
is.
wants what he wants.
He is that
Yeah.
like that, and he wants
I
to
don't wanna
play
say
it off
fake
like
tough.
I'm.
It's not the right thing
Yeah,
to say.
I get what
No.
you're saying. He doesn't want to be that guy. He doesn't want people to think of him as the type of guy who needs to be
he
dominant and
portrays a different persona in the public than what he actually is behind
right,
closed doors.
right.
Yeah,
is
that's
what I
media. That's media,
And
though.
it's,
He wants things a certain way, but he doesn't want people to think that he wants things a certain way. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like, look, we don't know what was going on behind closed doors, and normally, I'm very iffy about trusting reports and stuff like that, especially with like NBA stuff, because NBA stuff, trade rumors, all that stuff, it just flies around.
Yeah.
So I'm very iffy about reports. The reporting for this just lines up. It makes sense that Rob Saleh was going to let go of Nathaniel Hackett, and people didn't like that.
or at
whether
least take away the play calling
right,
duties.
whether it's Rodgers, whether it's Woody Johnson, whether it's Joe Douglas, who is kind of getting a little bit swept under
MIA
the
a
rug
little
in
bit.
this situation, which
Yeah.
is concerning in its own way. Whatever the case may be, Hackett was either going to get fired or let go of his play calling duties, and someone didn't like that, and that's when they said he has to go. And it just makes sense. It just
Right.
makes sense that that's what happened.
The
It really
unfortunate-
does.
The unfortunate truth of the matter is that Woody Johnson and Joe Douglas have become yes men to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Like he basically has this franchise.
Well, it's also like you're in
by
this
the
deep at this
throat.
point. Like like I said, you got him here under the condition that he gets what he wants.
Yes, and in
So-
which case, unfortunately, turns into the fact that Natty Hackett basically has this franchise by the throat as well, because he's Aaron Rodgers' guy. They're a duo now.
There's just no way that man should have a job right now.
I agree with you.
There's just
He
no way.
shouldn't.
It's
he
just
should
at
not
the end
be-
of the day, bro, organizational incompetence will
win out.
rise to the top. Look at the Bengals, and what's the thing with the Bengals, and why is their organization incompetent? Because they don't pay their players.
Yeah.
Look at their defense right now, how they're in shambles. Organizational incompetence always rises to the top, and that's just what it is. So, before we move on, we mentioned what's the guy, Ulbrich?
Yeah.
Jeff Ulbrich is the interim head coach. Pete, as a Jet fan, what are your expectations for the rest of the season? Because I think in the three of our opinions as not fans, Super Bowl's out the window.
Yep, I agree.
Just history says Super Bowl's out the window. Can the Jets define history? Maybe, but history says it's out the window. So what are your expectations?
Dude, history says it's out the window. I can't disagree with that. Like, we're a team we're having a little bit of trouble. We were on pace to see better days, but now seeing better days is kind of like out the fucking window. The reason I say that,
Unless you get Devontae Adams.
hopefully, for the next couple of weeks at least, this team isn't going to necessarily be where they want it to be in the aspect of there's not a leader there anymore. Like, you strip away a leader in a situation, like it's now it's fucking blind leading blind. Like, what are they like? What is I really want to know. I wonder what their fucking plan is.
And then they talk
What's their
about
plan?
Oh,
they,
no. Their plan is Aaron Rodgers is now their quarterback and head coach.
Bro, he is. He's
GM.
been the fucking head coach.
He's
like,
been the GM.
like that's the funniest thing about this whole
No,
thing.
but I
is
think
like,
that's part of the problem. Saleh wouldn't take that.
Right.
Saleh wouldn't take it as.
I think he was taking it and then maybe look, because I don't know.
and then he wanted to get rid of Hackett
Yes.
because he realized this shit is not working.
Yes.
And then Aaron Rodgers, Woody Johnson, Joe Douglas, whoever said, no, you're Aaron Rodgers' word goes. We do what Aaron Rodgers says. We bow down to Aaron Rodgers. And we're just not going to win a Super Bowl like that.
like you said, coaches coach, players play. You could be a fucking captain, you could lead, but at the end of the day, when it comes to things in the back office being decided, like that's not for a player to be choosing.
And we remember last year all the reports of Saleh wanting to bench Zach Wilson, and they wouldn't let him. Like, Saleh has, without a doubt, butted heads with Joe Douglas, with Woody Johnson, and all these guys.
Oh, dude,
before.
yeah.
And like, the poor guy's trying to do his job. I know we sit up here and say he's not a great head coach, and I don't disagree, but the poor guy's trying, and he's just getting vetoed.
I don't think he's necessarily a bad coach.
I don't either.
I don't think he's a bad
being
coach.
I don't think he's a great coach. but yeah,
I
he's
agree.
really
Really
you can say you don't think
bad.
he's a great coach,
So-
but I don't think he's a bad coach.
I don't-
Part of being a good head coach is being able to handle the media. That part of him is not good. He's simply not good at that.
On-
Media
And
is
in New
one
York,
thing.
the problem is in New York, that's magnified and put to a fucking 20. Instead of a 10, it's put to a 20. You go to any other team for the most part. You go to Jacksonville. Nobody's gonna give a fuck in the end. But since you're in New York, it's magnified to a 10. So you go in those press conferences, say the wrong thing, and now House of Highlights is posting you, or Bleacher Report's posting you, and they're talking Robert Saleh, head coach of the New York Jets, said blah, 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 blah. So it's magnified every single fucking time. So I can agree with you guys. Maybe he's not as bad of a head coach. The one aspect that he's really bad at is handling the media.
100%. I could
sure.
agree with that. But
But we're talking about winning games right here.
Right. At the end of the day, the most important, that's definitely part of
Yeah.
it. The most important thing is winning games. And I don't think I could get to 5 fingers on my hands of guys who were able to win as many games as he did in his tenure with the Jets, with the roster he had and the
Zach
dysfunction
Wilson,
he
Tim
had.
Boyle, Trevor Simeon last year. He won
For real.
7 games.
But
For real. I agree with you.
Yeah, no, that's definitely important.
Yeah.
But like the main
Especially
thing
in
is,
the
like,
like you said, in the New York market, it's magnified to a million. And Jeff Ulbrich, I don't know the guy personally, don't really know much about him. Maybe he'll be better with the media. And they're talking about on Twitter, well, the locker room loves him. The locker room loved Antonio Pierce last year. Guess what? Antonio Pierce is not a good fucking
one thing
football
I'll say
coach.
about that is think about it like Jeff Ulbrich is like that supervisor that you're super chill with, and you go to him and you talk shit about the manager, and you bring a coffee on the floor to work with you. Now he is the manager. Now he's not gonna,
He's not
a
their
different
friend
person.
anymore.
Yeah, he's a
Right.
different person.
He's not the
hilarious.
shoulder
And now
they lean on.
the offense
anymore.
has to get behind this guy, and the special teams has to get behind this guy, not just the defense, where the offense wasn't in meetings with him, ran by him, and stuff like that. So it's a totally different guy that's the head coach rather
But
than
Twitter
the
says the
coordinator.
locker room loves him. It'll work.
Right,
out.
yeah,
hold
no,
on,
I-
Fuck out of here,
yeah.
What I
bro.
find so funny is I could just picture the meeting between Woody, between Joe, Natty Hackett, and Aaron Rodgers.
Dude.
And they're sitting there like,
Dude, what the fuck do we do?
They're sitting there like, so Natty's not going anywhere. Simply put, Rodgers is sitting there like, Hackett's not going anywhere. It's not happening. Cool. All right. So what's next? If we're going to fire Saleh, who are we going to hire? Hackett. We'll give you the head coaching job. And then Rodgers and Hackett are staring at them like, no, we have to save face for the media. We cannot give Nathaniel Hackett the job.
Jeff's just sitting there like
Then
texting.
they're gonna think it's
Texting
us.
his wife like, you won't believe what happened at
Yo,
work
this
today.
is fucking crazy. And they're like, Jeff, you're the interim head coach. And he's like, what? He's like, what do you mean?
He's like, what? Bro.
He just, and then they get to like their first meeting with him as head coach, and he just walks in with his coffee, and everyone's just waiting for him to say something, and he's like, "Fucking want me to do? What do here? Get out there, get with some coffee. It's crazy."
I find it hilarious because not naming Hackett the head coach, if they did, everyone would have immediately gone to.
So the last point I'll make, because we've gone on a lot about this, but the last point I'll make is I almost feel better if they name Hackett, because then they're
oh no,
no, not about the situation, but
the
because
blowback would have been
because the Jets are sitting then they're confirming that that they don't think he's the problem. At least like they believe in him still, but you didn't make him the head coach.
No, but the reason they didn't do that is to save face for the media. That's what I'm saying.
That's fucking
because that would have pushed the whole narrative.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's just proving you're just a poorly run organization. It's not even like
you can't even stand on business.
You know, you can't even like say no. We really believe in this guy. Like,
yeah,
you know,
It's ridiculous.
And I feel like we talked a lot about what now for the Jets, but what now for Saleh?
Oh, he's going to Sanford.
if you don't have
he's
a
going straight to
top
Sanford.
5
Yeah.
defense, you should be calling him right now.
Yes, agreed, 100%.
Absolutely.
there will be
100%.
20 teams calling him to be their defensive
Someone said he's taking a vacation right now, which I mean, he's still got a year's salary to
Would you be
collect,
surprised
so-
if the Bengals
Bro,
made?
he's getting paid $20,000 a day to
Really?
go
Yeah.
to Cancun. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
what
wait.
the rest of the contract like breaks down to.
Wait,
Because they have
his-
to still pay the contract.
Yeah.
His contract pays $20,000 a day.
With
right now,
the-
yeah.
for the rest of
how
the
it-
contract.
how
the
it-
rest of the
How much is getting paid a year?
I don't know exactly.
You don't know, but 20,000.
Whatever it
day
is.
is
And again,
fucking-
I saw this on Twitter, so maybe not
Oh,
exactly.
so wait,
lot
maybe
of
it says
money.
1.5 million
a lot
a
of
year.
money. Yeah, a good
Something
amount of
like
money.
that, yeah. If
Something like
that's
that.
what the math says, you're better at that than I am.
Between
No,
1 and
so,
1.5, I remember hearing.
Maybe like 1 to 1.5.
Yeah, I mean,
Bananas though. Bananas.
yeah, I'm excited because I'm going to be there Monday night, so it just adds another storyline, another element
yeah.
to the game.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm super excited. And, you know, at the end of the day, the Jets are still 2-3. The Bills are 3-2. It's open for them. So
A lot of
Oh,
football
hell
left.
yeah. it is.
How loud will it get if the Bills go into MetLife
and stomp them
beat
out.
the brakes
Oh, my
off
God.
the Jets?
My dad was at a Monday Night Football game for the Jets once, where they threw literal Molotovs on the field, and
the-
threw shit on.
It
the
might
field.
get to that level.
It might get there.
Oh my God, I can't. I hope so. Like I don't like the Bills, and I'm not a Josh Allen guy. I might be known as Josh Allen's biggest hater, honestly. But oh my God,
Must be a good day.
if
for
the
you.
Bills stomp them out on Monday night while I'm there, bro, it will be poetic because I have no say in that game. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking
Either way,
care.
you get to come out of it a hater.
Right.
Yeah, I don't fucking care.
So,
Yeah. And another silver lining for the Jets is we talk about the Bills. That's really their only threat because the Dolphins are in shambles.
Yeah.
And then the team in the red, white, and blue can't be serious either.
Nope.
The New England Patriots named Drake Maye as their Week 6 starter against the Houston Texans. And, you know, we talk about organizational incompetence with the Jets. I don't think this is to that level, but in my opinion, my humble opinion, this is just the wrong decision, and this was the wrong way to go about it. We talked about it all offseason. It didn't make sense for Drake Maye to be the starter going into the season, and it really didn't make sense for Drake Maye to be the starter at all this season. But if they were going to make this switch, it was always supposed to come after the bye week. That's just when this stuff happens. When you make a big change like that, you get an extra week to prepare and set your plan into motion. And they suffered an embarrassing loss against the Dolphins. Like, they were supposed to win that game. As bad as the Patriots are, the Dolphins with no Tua, no Jalen Phillips, Devon Achane getting concussed are worse.
Right.
And they were supposed to win that game, and they lost, and they're in panic mode. I think they're scared about what the fans are saying.
Yes.
They're scared about selling tickets to the games and all that stuff, and this is a move to try and excite the fans. But whether we think Drake Maye is a better quarterback than, wow, shook out Ohtani. Whether we think Drake Maye is a better quarterback or not than Jacoby Brissett is yet to be seen. But with the Patriots offensive line, with the Patriots receivers and weapons room, no quarterback is going to succeed. You put a Tom Brady back there, I don't even know if he succeeds with this offense. Maybe better than Jacoby or Drake Maye will, but succeed? No, I don't think so. And to make this move against a defense that has just made opposing quarterbacks' lives hell. Josh Allen just didn't completed 30% of his passes against this defense. Josh fucking Allen went 9 for 30 against this defense. This defense is for real. They are a top 5 unit in the league. And setting this guy up like that to fail in his first career start, and we talk about it all the time. You said it in the group chat about Tank Bigsby this morning. confidence is everything for these players.
especially
And-
quarterback.
And setting a man up to basically lose all his confidence in his first career start is just the wrong decision. See you, Tupac. And yeah, so that's how I just think it's the wrong decision. I didn't think he should have started a game at all for them this season,
I
but this
agree.
just is not the time for it.
No, I completely agree. First of all, if you're a professional organization and you give in to the fans don't know shit. Like, let's be real. The majority of fans are usually casuals that should not be making front office and coaching decisions for your football team.
Even if they're hardcore fans.
Right. I know, listen, guys, I know you drafted Drake Maye super high and you sucked last year to get Drake Maye. And he's the savior of the franchise, right? But for the long term, and these are Patriots fans. They're not used to losing. So, they can't take it. They just can't deal with it. But if you put Drake Maye out there now, it's doing more harm than good. I know it's good for a young quarterback, rookie quarterback especially, to get reps. That's really the most important thing for the quarterback. But I promise you look at Jordan Love. You look at the guys, you look at the Bradys, the Rodgers, the guys that sat for a while before they actually took the field. It turns out so much better. And then, you could end up with, Drake Maye is a great talent, great prospect. He could end up with a Baker Mayfield career where he comes in, looks good, and then just falls off because he just doesn't have a great team around him. And we're seeing those guys kind of resurge right about now. But, yeah, I think this is a bad move, and they should just bide their time with this. Let Drake develop. Let him learn under Jacoby's a vet, been around the league a lot, seen a lot. Keep him on the bench, man. They shouldn't be doing this.
Oh wow, Profar almost did it again.
That
That was crazy the other night.
Oh,
And he looked at them and laughed in their face. Like,
oh
that
man,
was
if he
tough.
did it
That was
again,
crazy.
that would have been
Yeah,
That would've been
crazy.
electric.
insane.
And this one at home too, they would have fucking
yeah,
erupted. Oh my god.
And he would have talked his shit after
Yeah.
too. Yeah, so all of season, all of this season, I was thinking to myself, Gerard Mayo is going to get tested big time with the whole situation with Drake Maye. Because how long can you hold off? Because they're not going to be good. Jacoby Brissett ain't going to play great football. The only time he will ever play great football is when he has a stronger supporting cast around him, and he obviously doesn't have that with this situation. But you signed Jacoby Brissett for a reason. And as much as I hate to say it, you signed Jacoby Brissett to get Jacoby Brissett killed.
Pretty
To
much.
save Drake Maye.
to take a beating.
Yep.
To save Drake Maye.
Yep.
That was the point. And that was the plan that Gerard Mayo had all offseason, going into this season, that he keeps referring to week after week after week in press conferences. But now all of a sudden, against, as you said, one of the best defenses in the NFL, now we want to put Drake Maye in. Now we want to test the kid in his first NFL game. First start, I should say. First NFL start, and throw him to the Wolves with 3 practice squad guys along the offensive line, and your number one receiver being Jalen Polk. And no disrespect to Jalen Polk or Demario Douglas,
Good player.
but y'all are not there yet. You're simply not. This offseason was perfect because you get to go ahead and draft either a great receiver or a great offensive tackle in a draft that has clear talent at the top. And then you get to place Drake Maye into a situation where you had all the cap space in the world, another top draft pick, and he gets to walk in to a situation that we'd be looking at in a complete 180-degree turn next season. But instead, we want to throw him to the Wolves, make this kid lose all confidence in himself, and hell, if Drake Maye goes out there and balls the fuck out, we're going to have very different opinions, and we're going to look at him and be like, wow, he really is the savior of the franchise, and he's going to turn it all around.
We're wrong. Sorry.
But I think we're starting to see more so than ever that you got to set these quarterbacks up for success. And it's just that simple. You fucked up royally, and now the problem is you can't turn back.
Yeah, what happens if he
You
plays
can't
bad?
bench Drake.
Right, what happens if he fucking looks like shit?
Just keep him out there and be like, oh, figure it out.
You can't bench the guy now because then guess what? You're going to ruin his confidence. Because you throw him out there, he's going to play like shit, most likely, just playing the odds here. And then you're going to turn back
Yeah,
to
it's not
Jacoby?
his fault. I mean,
You're going to turn back to Jacoby? Well,
and Jacoby's like, dude, Those first 5 weeks killed me. I ain't going back out there.
I think he's
It's all
gonna-
you, brother.
No.
It's all you, brother.
I think Drake Maye might look. He's gonna show some flashes. He's gonna
For sure.
offer the team definitely a different dynamic with what he could do with his legs, which I think is just the most underrated part of his game as a prospect. It
Yes.
was very overlooked, but I think he's definitely gonna bring some new life to the team. And look, they might fuck around and beat the Texans. It might just it might just bring some new life to the team. And they stink.
They're
They
bad.
stink and they're terrible, but sometimes, a little change, a little boost of confidence from everyone, maybe Drake Maye forces the ball to a guy like Jalen Polk a little bit more, and then we kind of see Jalen Polk start to take off like people thought he would, like I think he will. But
Or
At the
Vermondre
end-
goes off.
at the end of the day, with the O-line they have, with the lack of a true dominant number one target that they have, it's just everything's saying that he's not going to succeed
Yes.
right now in year one. And it's just like, if we could point out and see that he's probably not going to succeed here in year one, I'm sure they can too. So at the end of the day, the decision you're not competing for anything. You're not competing for anything. This is all about development and, building a core for the future. And like the three of us all just said in different words, at the end of the day, this is a decision that can really bite you in the ass if you fuck up this dude's confidence.
Yep.
So,
And it builds bad habits. That's another thing. That's something that just, and I hate to use my quarterback as an example, but like Daniel Jones,
great example.
like, I mean, just look at all the habits that he developed from years of bad offensive line play and just getting absolutely murdered. I mean,
got PTSD.
It ruined the dude's confidence.
And not trusting his weapons, too.
And exactly, and you don't throw with anticipation because you don't expect guys to get open. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones is fixed. By no means am I saying that. But now you get to see this year, as the weeks progress, he's seemingly gotten better and better and better week after week because he's starting to trust better protection and better receivers.
Who's
and this
the Pats OC?
Giants OC.
The Pats OC.
Well, Pats, Alex Van Pelt, not a good offensive coordinator. They actually, I think, are last in the league in motion pre-snap. So you're really not going to set this kid up for failure. I mean, for success. You have a bad offensive coordinator. You have bad weapons. You have a bad offensive line. If you got one of the three right, bro, like
was
maybe
this
you got a
Van
chance.
Pelt character there last year with
No, I think he's
Belichick?
brand new.
He's
I'm
brand
saying,
new.
I feel like this is a fuck it, throw him out there kind of situation.
Unless he was the
Fucking see what he
quarterback
can
coach, I
do.
don't remember. But
Yeah.
I don't know if he was with them last
Ball.
year. But regardless, you're setting him up for failure. And it's unfortunate because Drake, with the right sort of development and a lot of practice time,
I got
got
to interrupt you. Ortiz texted me. And I think this is what
Yeah,
you
I
were
was-
just
I was
nodding
gonna-
your head.
I
No,
was gonna- yep,
I was
yep.
looking. I was like, "What?" Because I saw the fantasy app open.
Yep,
I was like,
yep.
"What the hell just happened?" Ortiz texted me. Shout out to Ortiz. Lorraine traded her brother Godwin for Tutu Atwell and Jordan Love when she already had Stroud.
He's 3-1. I'm 5-0. I still have the best team in the league, but
He can't be 3-1. It's been
Wait,
3-1, whatever.
5
4-1. I don't
Wait,
know.
run that back? You said
Lorraine
Yep.
traded her brother Chris Godwin for Tutu Atwell and Jordan Love when she already had CJ Stroud.
Keep in mind, I've
why the fuck?
I've
why
looked
the
at
fuck
Lorraine's team for
I
the
didn't
past few
know
weeks, and
Lorraine
she's
was
had
in the league with you
yeah,
guys.
she's had Brandon Ayuk, and I'm like, dude, I want Brandon Ayuk, and I'm like, I know I can just fucking absolutely fleece her, but I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's wrong. Now fucking brother comes in and fleaces her.
That's nuts.
Fucking crazy.
You guys talk
We're
about
just
me
gonna let
having
this rock?
collusion in Dynasty.
I'm not a trade vetoer. I'm not gonna veto it. It's gonna rock. It's a stupid trade, whatever. But that's
collusion.
fucking bullshit.
So that's collusion.
Ortiz goes collusion.
You
Text
know?
in the chat,
That's
collusion.
crazy.
And the
That's
thing
so
is, like,
funny.
No, everybody
Kevin,
saw it.
Kevin,
nobody
if you
said
see
anything.
this, I fucking know Lorraine runs those trades by you, and you told her to take that. You're a bad boyfriend.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah,
Kevin, be better, bro. Be better. I would never let
And
my
Kev always-
girlfriend make a trade
Unbelievable.
like
Bro,
that.
Kev always runs
Unbelievable.
stuff through me too.
Right.
So like, why the fuck didn't you text me? What is that?
on,
What the fuck is that?
I've been sitting here checking this, and I'm like, this really just fucking happened. And I've been trying to find the right time to bring it up, and I'm glad you just
Trunks, what are you
said it.
doing, bro?
Yo, what are you doing over there?
Trunks heard fleecing trades, and now he's trying to go to work.
What are you doing, bro?
That's all Trunks does.
He's cooking up right now.
He's cooking up fucking Jonathan Mingo for.
Sorry,
fucking
I had
DJ
to-
Moore.
I-
No.
for
You're
that.
fine. You're fine. You're fine. Regardless, I mean, you're gonna kill Drake Maye's confidence, and it's not a good look. And you're gonna set him up for failure. But hell, maybe Drake Maye is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Could be.
I'm
Maybe.
excited to see it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm excited to see
Maybe.
him play. Yeah.
I mean, shit, it's going to give us a chance to actually want to watch the Patriots for the first time this season. I think we could say that.
Can't
so,
though, because then it worked. Then we they got what
They got what they wanted.
Yeah.
So we gotta
Welcome.
like
Boycott the Patriots.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna watch
Sleazy.
Red Zone, but yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on this Drake May situation?
Or
Well,
like rookie
pretty much the only thing I have to say is I feel like this is a team that's just kind of like, and then they're like, "Hey, fuck it, throw him in there. Let's see if let's see if this changes anything."
He's
And
gotta be better.
I think that's all that's really
It's
happening.
a ticket sales move to me.
sure,
It's
yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
I
it's
mean,
getting
it's a
people
lot
through
of
the
it's a
gate,
lot
yeah.
of the combination of both. It's like
this is to me. This is more of a business move than a football move in my
like
eyes.
New England, that
can't
bad weather's
do.
coming, so people aren't gonna. They ain't.
Who's
traipsing-
going out to
they ain't
watch
traipsing
that?
through
Yeah.
the snow to watch no Jacoby Brissett. I love Jacoby.
look, man,
but, you know.
we'll see. It could last a game for all we know. Like, he can.
But that's
He
what I'm
can't,
saying.
like,
It
it really,
can't
like,
do that.
I see. I know what you mean, but like you're not allowed to.
Because
You
because,
can't
like-
move him back to the bench.
Yeah, like that quick is crazy.
He's out there
yeah,
for
He's
majority of the
he's
season
the quarterback for the rest,
the rest
of the season.
Yeah.
rest of the year.
Maybe in
Unless
blowout,
he
if
really-
they're getting blown out, they'll let Jacoby Brissett finish games and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But he's the starting quarterback for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And if he's not, then oh boy,
Yeah.
then
It's gonna
we're
get
gonna
loud.
have a different
get
conversation.
fucking
Then
loud
it's gonna
if
be
that
an
happens.
ugly conversation. But
So
might have another head coach fired. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
I'm joking.
maybe.
Might have
Yeah, I
got
mean,
fired.
maybe. I hope.
I'm just a butthurt Jets fan right now. That's all.
Well, we're trying to get some clarity on these teams and what they can do, what they're trying to do. You know, we talk about the Patriots competing for the #1 pick, the Bengals, Jacksonville, maybe they're in there too, and then we talk about these damn Chiefs, man. They just can't lose. The Vikings look real great. There's some teams in the middle there that we don't really know what's going on there. We don't know if they can take that leap and become, make a playoff run, or if they're just going to sink right to the bottom with the rest of them. So we have 8 2-3 teams left in the league after this week. And I'm going to throw the names out there. And I titled it Contenders, Pretenders. I think we know where we're going to put who. So just, see where you think they can end up. Can they make it into the playoffs? Can they win a playoff game? Or are they just going to sink to the bottom, like I said?
So let me just specify real quick, or let me ask rather. What do we consider a contender in this case? Just a team that can make the playoffs?
no, a contender is a team that could win the Super Bowl.
Right, a contender is a contender. But if you say, no,
we're-
they're a pretender, they're not a good team, but I could see them getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, we're gonna
just kinda give your
we're gonna
thoughts.
give thoughts,
Specifics
but
inside of the.
yeah,
Right.
but the quick hitter is:
Okay.
can you win the Super Bowl or can you not win the Super
Okay,
Bowl?
cool, got
All
it.
right. So, first team up in the NFC West, we've got the Arizona Cardinals sitting at 2-3.
Pete, go ahead, start us off.
Contenders.
Oh my God.
I don't
Super Bowl
know.
contenders?
Oh wait. Well, all right. My bad. Because this is fucking me
How
up.
about we say instead of
Contenders for
they
like
could
playoffs.
win the Super Bowl, let's say they can. If you're a contender, if you think they can make the Super Bowl, let's do that.
Okay. Well, Super Bowl is such a fucking stretch. I can only think of like 3 teams.
That's
I really
what I'm
think.
saying.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I would say contender for
the point.
playoffs would be a
That's
little
the
more.
point.
Okay.
Yeah, just say pretenders, but I think
All
they
right.
could. So
All right.
how
Well,
far
I'm
do you
gonna-
think they can go?
Pretenders, but I definitely think they would contend for the playoffs this year.
You think they make it in?
To the playoffs, I feel like it's very strong possibility. Like I would take that future. Like Kyler Murray is just going absolutely off. I mean, like he is
Playing some good ball.
so fucking impressive, and you got your guy you got Marvin Harrison,
Maserati Marv, baby.
fucking boom, like that's 5 booms, bro.
That was
Like
Nisa Ultima fucking Marv
I just-
this week, bro.
I feel like I can't just sit here and like with just those 2 things being said, I feel like I can't sit here and be like, oh no way, you know what I mean? No way they don't at least make it to the playoffs or have a strong chance of reaching
Listen,
the
the
playoffs.
division's real close, and no
just
one in
beat
the
the
NFC
Niners.
is really like
It's
standing
possible,
out.
man.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean-
just saying it's
Yeah, I'm
possible,
not-
man.
Yeah, for me, they're a pretender. Just given the state of their defense right now. Granted, they had a hell of a game defensively against the Niners, especially in that second half. And they have a few rookies in the secondary. They have Max Melton, the corner. Jason hyped up Max Melton. Shout out to Jason. And then they have some safety. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but playing out of their minds, the 2 of them. So they have some young talent on defense that it has been coming along. Kaiser White, right?
Yeah,
That's his name,
Kaiser
has
White,
been
right.
having a great season for them. So, they have some pieces there that's coming along, but this is not a Super Bowl level defense. So they're a pretender. But in terms of the playoffs, I mean, you hit it on the head, Pete. This is a fun team with an explosive offense. They're capable of 40-piecing any team in the NFL, no matter who the defense is they're going against. They could put up 40 against anyone. And given the current state of the NFC West, I think
Why not?
Honestly, yeah, I think they have as good of a chance as everyone in the NFC West right now, given the state of the division. So,
Bro, I
James
mean,
Conner can play some good ball.
I was just gonna say, you took the words out of my mouth. Like,
Good player.
bro, like, come on, you got James Conner, you got Mike Wilson, like,
and me and Matty J and Jason had a group chat where we were just basically shitting on Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator,
Wilson's
during the
crazy.
game.
You were just looking at me because I made a face. Mike Wilson's crazy.
well, yeah, I feel like,
He's all right.
Mike Wilson's a good
Yo, he's
player.
having a
He's
great
having a good
season,
season,
He's a
ball
bro.
player.
having a great season.
I didn't say
Just not the
confident
name
because I
I
thought it
was-
would be
Say what you were about
controversial.
to say, bro.
Just not
Yeah.
the name I
Are you
was.
are you about to say some
Wide
crazy
receiver
shit?
one? Shit.
You
Yeah.
you were about to say I think he's
I
Wide receiver
thought he
one
was
on the
going to be
Cardinals?
terrible this season.
okay. I thought you were about to
thought
say
he was-
I think he's better than Marv or some. All right.
No.
All right.
No, we
let's
respect- Mike Wilson.
This is the thing. When you
No,
put all
it's just
those guys together, though,
Stop.
like
I know ball, bro.
stop.
Trey McBride's going to lead the team in receptions. You call me crazy.
I didn't say it
Call
with my
me crazy.
I didn't say it on my chest. You know what I mean? Like I was like,
he's
I was
a
like
good
James
football
Conner,
player.
Mike Wilson.
Michael Wilson's a good football player.
I think he's a good fucking football
good ball
player.
player.
Like I wouldn't take it away from him. Like I'm sure other people would, but like, dude, he's in there like swimwear, bro. Like
For their
he's-
offense and for
I
they
agree.
want to do
Yeah.
what they want to do, he's honestly like I still think he struggled last week, but I still think Marv's a one of one talent. But
100%.
he's very similar to Marv in terms of he's this super big body receiver with really sure hands who creates separation better than most guys at his size and shouldn't be able to move at his size. So you have two of those guys. You have Trey McBride eating up targets in the middle of the field. They have a very cool, fun offense. The play calling is a little questionable, and this was the point I wanted to get to. So me and
Yes.
Matt were in a group chat with Jason kind of calling out Drew Petzing for the play calling in this game against San Fran.
Yep.
But then I saw someone kind of post this on Twitter and kind of explain everything. Everything was calculated based on the fact that the Niners lost their kicker. Everything was calculated.
okay.
Going for it on fourth down with that crazy play to Marv, running the ball 3 straight times and settling for the field goal to go up 1.
Okay.
Everything seemed to, unless it was just pure luck and it just worked out and they won the game,
No.
but it seemed like everything was calculated based on the fact that they didn't have a kicker.
So if that's the case, then I got to tip the fucking cap to John Gannon and Drew Petzing
Yes.
for situational awareness.
yeah, no,
And changing on the,
the guy
fly.
Yeah.
I wish I fucking bookmarked the tweet, but the guy who explained it on Twitter, like he went into detail and it seemed like every single like big decision they made in the second half of that game once the kicker went down was calculated and based off of that.
And
So,
to be fair, running the football 3 times in a row with the game James Conner was having, not a bad idea at points, to be honest, either. So that man is a one-man wrecking crew. I think that needs to be said. But
yeah, I mean, they went up 1 and gave Brock Purdy, time with the ball in his hands, and he did throw an interception at the end of the game. But the way their defense was playing and the way that they didn't have a kicker, you got to trust your defense in that situation. So, it did make sense. And when I look back and digest it and, like I said, listen to this guy talk about it on Twitter, everything seemed calculated. So I think they did a good job. And at the end of the day, whether we like the play calling or not, they won the football game. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. So where are you in terms
So-
of outlook on the season?
So I think they're a pretender, for sure. Obviously, I think there's a literal 0% chance they contend for a Super Bowl this year. But I mean, they could definitely contend for the playoffs. Would I take them to make it? Probably not, but they could contend for.
Yeah, they have a lot of young, athletic guys on that defense too, so I can see them like just balling out at
Turning
Turning it up
games,
as the season goes
Yes.
on.
Their offense is young too. It's like-
No,
their
offense,
offense is-
their offense is
Their offense
a
isn't
young
the problem.
team,
Their
yeah.
offense isn't the problem.
Yeah.
And they are very young. You're 100% right.
Yeah,
On the offensive side of the ball too, they're incredibly
Yeah,
young.
this is a team that should just get better
Oh my
and better
God.
every single week
Yeah.
on both
100%.
sides of the ball. It's a young coaching staff too.
Yes.
Like they should
I'll
just
say-
all around as an organization
Imagine
get
the
better
Niners.
and better.
Imagine the Niners coaching staff with the Cardinals team,
I mean, Shanahan anywhere is just.
Shanahan,
or I
period.
better like the Chiefs. Fucking.
But I
Coaching.
honestly think Gannon's turning into a damn
They're
good head
doing a
coach.
good job. They're doing a good job.
So,
far.
and
Yeah, no,
he's
they're doing good.
definitely played inspired. He's calling great football and getting that defense incredibly ready week after week for a lack of talent and a lack of a pass rush. Like literally 0 impact players on that defensive line. No disrespect, but for what he has, Gannon's done the best that he possibly can. So.
Yeah. So next up was that team you just mentioned, their division mates, the San Francisco 49ers. Who knew they'd be sitting here at 2-3? And Off the bat, I'm going to say, a lot of people might say that with Jake Moody, they win that game. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. They lost. But this team is missing Christian McCaffrey, I think, a lot because Tom Brady said it on the call at one point. Like, Jordan Mason ripped off, I think, like a 20-yard run. And Tom Brady was like, if that's McCaffrey, that's a 70-yard touchdown. Like, and I think there are a lot of those plays where Jordan Mason's good. He's not McCaffrey. So I do think they're missing because I think he takes their offense to another gear. I'm going to say that they're still contenders, especially if he comes back. But where are you guys at?
I'll just start it off, and I think they are contenders, but I loosely use that word because I don't think they're better than pretty much the top 3 in the NFL, 4, maybe even 5. But they definitely could contend for a Super Bowl. I mean, the roster hasn't
The state
changed,
of the
but-
NFC helps too.
Yes, exactly. So, but I think we're starting to see more depth in the NFC start to arise. But all in all, they're contenders. And I don't feel good about the Niners. I wouldn't put a bet on them making the Super Bowl, but you have to look at them and think, yeah, this team could definitely go on a run come postseason time. So I think their defense needs to get healthy, number one. I think their defensive play calling hasn't exactly been the best in the world.
Is Drake Greenlaw playing this year?
Drake Greenlaw, I'm pretty sure, has still missed the entirety of this season.
Yeah,
so
I don't
far.
think he's going to come back this
And
year.
I don't know if he's coming back this year. But they've had injuries, man, and that's a big deal. And then, of course, I think, honestly, it really is the match made in heaven. I think it is perfect timing. Shanahan's going to bring back Saleh. It will happen. And that's going to be a massive deal.
Is that a move that you make mid-season, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're already familiar with 99% of those players.
Yeah, I guess
it's not like the
it's not
personnel
he's
has
a new
changed
guy.
much.
Yeah.
So the personnel's definitely changed, but the key components of that defense still understand the solid principles and stuff. So I
Shanahan
think
had high praise for Saleh today too.
exactly. So I'm all. I think I think they're contenders, but I'm very hesitant and wary of the fact that the Niners could fake us out.
Super Bowl hangover is a thing too.
It really is. So
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to say a team that was literally just in the Super Bowl isn't gonna necessarily be a contender. So I'm gonna
Just
go with
negated
contender.
my point.
No, it's just
Go
like,
ahead. No,
it's
no,
like
I'm
it's
kidding.
like to see a team. Wait, what'd you even say? I honestly
said
wasn't even
Super
I said
Bowl
the Super Bowl
hangover's a real
hangover is a thing, and you immediately say, it's
Okay.
hard to bet against teams.
Okay,
that just
okay,
won the
okay,
Super
so-
Bowl.
Super
I
Bowl-
get what you're saying.
So you're
Super Bowl
100% right, though. You're 100%
Super
right.
Bowl hangover is a thing for teams, except for like the Chiefs, who basically just boot and rally. You know what I mean?
Right, they just power through. They get a liquid
so-
IV and they just fucking.
Yeah, they do a little like what I call hair of the dog the next day, and keep going. You know what I mean?
Mahomes does
Hair of the
voodoo
dog
magic.
next season. Do a couple commercials and then they're recharged. Whatever. All right, I'll stop fucking around. I do think that they are a contending team, not mainly for one reason, but for multiple reasons. First, it's hard to fix Tom's mic.
I want them to see your face.
It's hard to first point, it's hard to say a team isn't going to make it, doesn't have the capability to make it to the Super Bowl when they were literally just there.
Right.
Second thing, right now they have a couple loose strings. It's understandable. They have a very strong coaching staff, however. The play calling on defense, like you said, maybe has not been there, but that could be in effect because players are injured. You might not necessarily call the same plays when you're missing your edge rusher Nick Bosa. When I don't even know who the other defensive end is, but when you're missing key components of your defense, the play calling isn't necessarily going to be the same. That's going to affect the outcome of the game. You're missing Christian McCaffrey. Big thing here. I understand that guy was literally the face of the fucking team last year, but seeing Jordan Mason, the way he's running the ball, it's starting to show a lot that it's kind of the way the offensive line is performing is why even CMC was able to get the type of yards he was getting last season. For some reason, I have never seen, and I was glazing fucking last year when we were talking about the Niners, I've never seen a team move up the ball so fucking efficiently. Like, when Jordan Mason's running the ball,
You're talking here. All right.
Yeah.
Fucking listen when he talks.
no. When
Throwing
Jordan,
AQ Shipley.
no. When Jordan Mason is running the ball, it's not like he's not struggling. he's fucking he's getting up there. What do you call it? Fucking clip the ear? What do you say?
He's a very
He clips his ears and gets up the fucking gap. Like, whatever the fuck you
his
said.
ears back.
Yeah, he makes it look easy, but that's because of the blocking. You know what I mean? It's also his athleticism.
He's also a very downhill runner.
Yeah.
He sees he's a one cut back.
And he's also the baby of fucking CMC if he's been watching him play the whole time. You know what I mean? The little brother, I should say.
You learn a thing.
Baby's crazy. You learn a thing or two. So there's a lot of reasons why, like, even with the missing loose strings, I think could still be contenders. With that being said, I do think that they're contenders. There's a very strong possibility we see them again. Of course, there's a lot of other teams to go over that can kind of collide with that opinion. But those are my reasons to why I wouldn't take it away from them that they have the capability of going to the Super Bowl again.
Real quick, I think they're missing McCaffrey as a receiving threat.
Yeah.
More so than even the running
screen
back.
game,
Like,
too,
I think Mason's been
Brock's
very
looking
efficient.
for him.
What happened?
Brock's looking for him.
Exactly. So, and what he creates after the catch, how he could route up linebackers, even line up out wide and route up corners and safeties and all that stuff. So, I think that aspect of the offense is what's missed the most, more so than anything else.
I might regret this. This team's a pretender. If they didn't win the Super Bowl last year, it's not going to happen this year. They're missing pieces on the defensive side of the ball. The defense has been on a downward decline, and we saw that towards the end of last year a little bit too. The defense wasn't what it was. We mentioned they're without Drake Greenlaw too. And like you guys just mentioned, the offense with Christian McCaffrey isn't the same. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and rely on a guy with double Achilles tendonitis to come back and be the player he was.
It gets worse every week.
No, he's
To
not.
come
No,
back and be the
somehow
player
does.
that
It gets
he
worse
was.
every week.
That he was.
Brother went to
And-
Germany.
Yeah. He went to
And
terrible,
listen,
man. So upsetting.
I don't feel too strongly about any NFC team right now.
I agree.
I honestly don't
Yeah.
think there's a single NFC team that I truly believe is a Super Bowl contender.
Yes.
The
Lions. But
the Lions are the only one. I'm gonna be honest. I believe there's 4 contenders in the entire NFL. I'll name them at the end of this just because we'll go through the list. But I only believe there's 4 teams that can win the Super Bowl in the NFL this season. And the 49ers are just not one of them. Like I said, if they weren't going to win it last year, when are they going to win it? The teams around them are just getting better while injuries and other aspects of the game are just, this team just is getting worse. This is not the same team that just went to the Super Bowl last year. And again, I personally feel very strongly about guys who get injured mid-season, not coming back and being who they were. And I know they're being extra cautious about this. And I'm sure when Christian McCaffrey is medically cleared to play, they're probably going to hold him out an extra week, 2 or 3, because they're going to be very cautious with this, because this team is a team that they don't have shit to prove in the regular season. They don't have shit to prove in the wild card and divisional round. This is a team that it is Super Bowl or bust for this team. So they're going to be very cautious on him. And I'm sure when he comes back, he will be ready. But I don't have confidence in a guy in his age 29 season.
Yep.
At the
29, 28.
age 28, 29 run season at the running back position, coming off double Achilles tendonitis, coming back and being the player that he was. And you know, we finally saw a good Brandon Ayuk game, but he was struggling in the season. Deebo Samuel, he's back in the lineup now, but this is a guy who also is in and out of the lineup constantly for his career. George Kittle dealt with an injury already this season. This is a team that is on the older side of things. We're seeing them deal with a bunch of injuries. I think the team overall just didn't get better than what they were last year, and the teams around them continue to get better and better and more dangerous. So I don't see a world where this team wins the Super Bowl this year.
while I think that's a good point, it's hard to rule out their top end talent. That's the thing. Because like
I've seen their top end talent get to the Super Bowl and not be able to get over the hump twice. If they weren't going to win the Super Bowl the 2 times they got there,
I think the first one was really their chance.
I also think we're witnessing a better version of Brock Purdy progressively.
we were, and then he collapsed against the Cardinals.
And I agree, but everyone's going to have a bad game. And
against that defense, it's tough.
I
And I
agree.
know they balled
really
out and we
shouldn't,
just gave them credit, but that was the game where you're supposed to put everyone on notice and get everyone talking about your great play. And we sat up here and praised Brock Purdy last week, and we did the Baker Mayfield would you rather and didn't even think about it. And then you have Theo Ash, who is a very respectable football guy, who was saying last week, he was like, Brock Purdy's not been that good. This offense misses Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy,
Thank you.
Brock Purdy is not as good as everyone's saying he's been this season. He's getting hate comments. And his video was captioned, "Something's off about the 49ers." And this was last week when they were, 2-2 at the time?
Yeah.
And everything was looking good. Brock was looking great. And then he has an off game, and Theo Ash is like, "Well, I tried to tell you guys that."
Nobody takes a victory lap like Theo Ash.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not saying Theo Ash is gospel, and I'm not basing my opinion just off what he said.
A lot of
But
people do.
yeah, of course, they always say my opinion has
My
arrived.
opinion has arrived.
I think that he's right, and it's something that you alluded to. Not having Christian McCaffrey in the passing game is having an impact on him, and sure, he's been airing the ball out, throwing it deep, making Jawan Jennings look like Randy Moss, but when the going's getting tough and Brock's looking to check it down somewhere, he hasn't been able to, and there's no one that he could trust to do that. And that's hindering this offense. It's hindering Brock Purdy. And again, I don't know how much I could rely on Christian McCaffrey coming back. And again, I'm going to keep saying it. I personally, I think I might have said this in the offseason preview. I thought their Super Bowl window was closed going into the year. I'm going to keep saying it. If it wasn't last year, I don't know when it's going to happen. So I think the Niners, they scream out pretender to me, honestly. I really do believe there's a 0% chance they win the Super Bowl.
The NFC.
Strong words. So moving on, a team that started off red hot in the NFC, started off 2-0. They just lost on prime time. The New Orleans Saints.
Pretender. I don't even got to say much here.
What is their outlook for? What do you think of them season long?
Given the what's the word I'm looking for? Parity in their division currently. The Falcons are now currently in first place after everyone thought the Falcons season was over after 2 weeks.
Yes.
The Buccaneers 1 week look like a juggernaut, the next week they don't. Given the parity of their division, there's a chance. This team's not going to get in as a wild card team.
Carr's done for a
I was
couple
just about to say that I don't, given how the rest of the NFC has improved, and you look at the NFC North right now, that looks like the best division in all of football.
Right.
The NFC West, I mean, we talk about it. We just talked about the 49ers. We talked about the Cardinals. The Seahawks are in first place in that division, a team we didn't even mention. Those are three legitimate teams that have real playoff aspirations, and I think can sneak a wild card team in there. And I don't think this division, and I might be wrong, I don't think this division is going to get a wild card team. I think they're going to get one team that wins the division. And given the fact that it's announced that Derek Carr is going to miss a few weeks, I think that sets them back a little bit. They don't even know who the starting quarterback is going to be. They haven't announced it.
I think it'll end up Spencer Rattler. It's leaning that way.
They said they're looking into it, but they haven't even.
I love
Holy
that.
shit, the Padres scored 4 runs?
What the fuck?
Where have I been, bro?
They had a grand slam?
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
I don't know.
What the fuck just happened?
The Dodgers pitcher just hocked to it. That was crazy.
But yeah, I mean, given the fact that Derek Carr's out, given the fact that they're on a 3-game losing streak and it's not looking good for them, their defense doesn't look great. The offensive line, McCoy's out for their offensive line right now?
I'm pretty
McCoy didn't play
sure.
last night.
I'm pretty sure McCoy. I know McCoy's out. I think Cesar Ruiz also missed.
Yes.
but-
Cesar
yes.
Ruiz is
So,
also out,
and
yeah.
by the way, like, if those two are healthy, I think we're looking at a very different Saints team right now, to be completely honest. I think it's wild because they were so heavily reliant on Eric McCoy, by the way, one of the best centers in the entire NFL.
100%.
By far, does so much for that Saints offensive line, which played lights out football through the first 2 weeks, might I add. And Cesar Ruiz, also a good guard. It matters a lot. I would feel differently if I could guarantee a bill of health for these guys, but you can't do that with anyone in the NFL, and they're already injured. I would say they're a pretender. 2 weeks ago, if you asked me this question, I would have said they're a contender. I did say they're a contender.
Sure did.
I was talking about
Sure
Super
did.
Bowl hopes and dreams.
All I was thinking last night was this guy, Matty J, was watching the game.
Yep.
All I was thinking about last night was this guy, Matty J, said this team's a
He
contender.
said the Chiefs were
The Chiefs aren't the best, aren't by far the best team in the NFL, and
No.
the Saints are a contender. That was dead ass all I was thinking about watching the game last night. It makes me happy when you're wrong.
you're
It
wrong?
just-
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
It just
That's fair. It's also, like I said, it's a different Saints
Yeah,
team.
100%,
It's a very different
100%.
team
I agree.
That relied heavily on a run game. That those two were two of the best run blockers in the NFL
100%.
through the first three.
And it's gonna hurt without Derek Carr, but Derek Carr played the full game last night, and
did not play well.
he did not play well.
He hasn't
and
played well in a while.
No, and you know, we mentioned the offensive line injuries, and I know it's fucking Chris Jones, and he does that to pretty much everyone. But Chris Jones was fucking walking through.
Yeah.
He was walking through. I mean,
So I flipped the channel, and because I didn't watch, apologies, I didn't watch much of the game. I'm a Yankee fan. I was watching the Yankees playoff game.
yikes.
Yeah, rough loss. And I flip back, and I think it was Troy Aikman talking about how Chris Jones hasn't had much of an impact on this game. And I'm like, I watched 3 plays, and I see Chris Jones just walk into the backfield after that. And I'm like, either Troy Aikman just reverse jinxed Chris Jones, or
Even if it's not a direct pressure, like this isn't really a Chris Jones thing, but like he's just so dominant
God.
that he.
Tatis is new.
Oh my
just stood there
god.
Oh
and
my-
stared at that
my
motherfucker.
God, bro.
Oh my
Yo,
god.
I love the Padres, bro.
Wow.
Yo, that was a nuke, bro.
Padres
Oh
have
my
aura. Lots of it.
god.
Sully
Did you see
called
the way
it.
he stared
Nuke.
at that?
Yeah, he was just.
That was a no doubter in the
Wow.
show. That
he
was
seeing it off to
perfect.
war.
Oh my god,
Brother.
gosh,
Oh,
bro.
brother.
That was a
Holy.
shot. Holy moly.
It wasn't even like, it didn't go that
396
far.
isn't
but
that crazy, but
It was a no doubter though.
pimp
He
job
felt that
was
shit in the
nuts.
bat.
I'm so
job.
upset. Wow.
That wasn't even a perfect. That was a slightly early. That looks like a slightly early. I'm not even gonna lie. He still pimped that shit.
The best part about this is how much they hate each other. These two teams now, like, and Tatis was like talking
again.
so much shit at the end of that game, and then everyone on Twitter was getting on him a little bit. So
No, I
What a
rock with them.
fucking
They
pimp
fucking
job.
punked them in the last game.
I have a futures on the Padres to win the World Series.
You put it
I have
in?
a future
Yeah.
for the Padres to win the World
Hell
Series and
yeah.
the Padres to play the Yankees
Hell
in the World
yeah.
Series. So,
But yeah, no, Chris Jones, like, even when he's not getting a direct pressure, that motherfucker just strikes fear. And like,
Yes.
you see him like almost getting through, and it's like, all right, change of plans. But yeah, I mean, the Saints are pretenders.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take too long on the Saints. Yeah, Saints. I'm gonna go pretenders. Not much to really cover on. Derek Carr, I paid way too much money for you on the waivers 2 weeks ago. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
tough. All right, the
a
next
lot of
team,
people did, Pete.
probably not much to say because we just talked about them for about 45 minutes, but the New York Jets.
I mean, this is a pretender.
Pretender,
we
yeah.
said it. If you guys missed it and you're for some reason just starting the podcast from this point, we did a whole segment on the Jets about firing Robert Saleh. But when you fire your coach midseason, you are unserious about winning a Super Bowl. This team's a pretender.
Yep.
In terms of playoff hopes, maybe they could sneak and win the division. Maybe they could sneak in as a wild card, but Super Bowl dreams are shattered now. So that's that with the Jets.
Yeah.
I got to use the sink again.
So
It's like the third time.
Should we take a quick like halftime second break?
we'll
After?
talk about the Jets real quick, and then we'll
Sounds good.
take a breather. Real
I got
quick.
your boys here, so I'll wait till you come back.
Yeah.
Do the next two.
If the only way that I change my thought process,
No.
the only way that I change my thought process on these guys is if they end up getting Devontae Adams. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
Because look, if you get Devontae with that defense too, bro.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, but what
The
is
thing is,
that defense?
Yeah, no.
without Saleh?
So Sully, as a
Gotta keep the same principles in place.
Right, but
going,
it's
right? Like,
the thing is, I feel like their defense looked rough in the beginning, but has gotten better as the
it
season
has.
goes
Yeah,
on.
no,
I mean,
100%. It
dude,
has.
as Trunks, as a
so cute.
Trunks
thing
is
is-
gonna save the Jets.
Trunks is gonna come in.
He's gonna
The
be the
starting
head coach of the New York
Matthew
Jets.
Trunkali goes for 50 yards. Touchdown, go Wilson. Yeah.
Not the whole government on the.
My bad, bro. Yeah, the government was crazy. Yo,
Danny DeVito.
Yes.
Yoked.
I don't want to go on an emotional tangent about the Jets because we kind of already did that.
He
for a while.
definitely
But-
did that.
As a Jets fan, I sadly have to say, pretenders. Do I have hopes that maybe we make it to the playoffs? I hope so. I hope we can come back from a
guys should be a
fired.
Better make the
Yeah, I
playoffs.
hope we come back from a
It's gonna
fired.
get, it's gonna get nasty out here if you don't make playoffs.
It's so early in the season too. It really is.
Right.
We're only about to be on week 6.
lot ball left.
There's a lot of fucking ball left. So for me to sit here and say, pretenders confidently, not confidently, but I have to on paper say that right now for the way things are going.
How's that stream?
And that hurts to say as a Jets fan. So
What a set of fucking games we had this weekend, by the way. The 1 o'clock window was nuts.
I was driving home
Dude,
from Vermont. from the
That was
entire
one of the
window.
better witching hours in the history
Yes.
of Red Zone.
That-
Oh my
dude,
God.
I
that
was
was
just glued
insane.
to watching football Sunday. Like,
I was driving home
that
from
was
Vermont,
fucking
but I had
stupid.
my
Like,
phone
no
here,
shit,
and I was
Pete,
listening.
but-
I was like, Lamar, how'd you do that? What the fuck?
dude, it was fucking entertainment this weekend.
Play that he dropped.
That's what I watched. Yeah,
What
yeah.
the fuck?
Bro, and it was
Well, one of
epic
them,
too
yeah.
It
because
was just
I
constant
work. I
No,
worked
my bad.
Sunday morning, so I slept at Amanda's house. So I woke up, turned on the game, and it set up perfectly to where when it was time to leave for work, it was halftime. Got to work, watched the second
That's so
half, and it
awesome.
lined up perfect.
Yeah,
that's
so
perfect.
normally, like those first
perfect.
2 hours of first 2 hours of work are a drag because all I'm thinking of is I need football, I need football, I need football. But those London games, I love when there's London
Yep.
games for the
Oh,
sake
man.
of work, bro.
It funnels right into
Yeah,
1 o'clock.
And I mean, I was
a
telling you
beautiful
guys
thing.
too, like it was really like 15 hours of uninterrupted football, but we had such a big delay. It lined up perfectly for me to finish the season of my show with the delay of the game Sunday night. So I watched football all day, watched 4 episodes of my show during the delay, finished the season of my show, and then watched Sunday night. It was perfect.
Yeah, it
Perfection.
honestly kind of did line up perfectly because I also watched the rest of the WWE pay-per-view this weekend, Bad Blood, right before I watched Sunday Night Football. So it really
Yeah, it was
did.
amazing.
It
was
did
beautiful.
set up perfectly.
Beautiful too, because the 1 o'clock games like really like stretched out, man. Like,
Yeah, they
those
went-
last the
Yeah.
fourth
Right
quarters.
to the start of the fourth.
To the start of the fourth, so I was like, bro, I was normally I take a little break, you know, like a breath. Maybe I like ground with earth for like 15 minutes, like you know, from sitting on my couch for fucking 3 hours. But like, there was no time for that.
It was very
it was straight. Holy shit, the next game's about to be on. Like,
beauty of
what
it
am I
was-
placing? Like,
It was like very little overlap, which was
No, there
beautiful.
wasn't,
Like,
yeah.
it was just
it was great.
witching hour.
Yeah.
Boom.
I
425.
love
games.
like a river.
I loved like other than the Jets getting fucking mollywop, but mollywop's a crazy statement, but
Embarrassed.
embarrassed.
In
Dude,
London.
great fucking Sunday football. I was
Great
thoroughly entertained. At the end of the day, we're watching to get entertained.
Yep.
I was fucking entertained this weekend. Like
Captivated.
captivated as fuck, bro.
All right.
I need a stretch.
Yeah, I could never see that. That was
Yo.
insane. Threw it
Manny,
off Manny
I'm not gonna
Machado's
lie,
shoulder.
how he didn't get called out for that.
How is that not
Because he
out?
ran in the middle of
See
the
you later.
throw, like on purpose.
See you, Pete.
That led to
Walked
the
away.
I need a stretch for a minute.
bro. That led to the rally, which, by the way, fuck Manny Machado. I love the Padres, so I don't care. But like, that's scum. That's
All right.
very scum by Manny.
Rattle off these next few teams. Dolphins 2-3. They get Tua back. We move.
Hey, yo,
That was
two-
an important win this week.
2-3. We're on bye. The Jets and Bills play each other, so one of those teams is getting an extra loss.
Yep.
Tua could potentially be back soon after.
They're saying week 8.
Yeah. So
The
It-
reports are as soon as he's medically cleared, he's
what if this?
I'm waiting.
What if this is the year that we start out slow and then finish
I'm
strong?
still
and
waiting.
We're pretenders.
There
We're
you go.
pretenders.
There you go.
I
Yeah,
don't.
you guys are
I don't even
pretenders.
want to watch, bro. I had a table.
Sucks that Jalen Phillips went down because their pass rush was actually like cooked.
That was the difference.
Yeah.
Yes. Jalen
so-
Phillips
yeah,
changes my
that's
entire
awful,
mind.
bro.
Changes my entire
so
mind.
bad. But
Yeah.
I mean, so the London game was on, and I had a few tables at work, so I didn't put on Red Zone as soon as the game was over, and normally I have the countdown on the TVs at home, bro, but I didn't put it on. I had a table walk in. They sat down at the bar. I went over, got them started with drinks. The lady says to me, "Is there any way you could put on the Dolphins game?" I said, "The Dolphins game? Well, why?"
Literally the one terrible game out of like 5 great
Yeah.
games. That's the one they
I said,
won.
"Why?" She said, "I'm a Dolphins fan." I said, "Yeah, me too. I don't want that shit on." I said, "I'm gonna just put on Red Zone." She said, "Yeah, but you gotta support even when the team's bad. That's when they need you the most."
Don't know that.
I was
Chris don't do that. Chris don't do
like,
that.
do you know who I am? Commanders, baby. I'm locked in on the Commanders.
Yeah, fantasy
Don't
teams
know
to manage.
Bane.
They don't fuck around no
Where's the
Dolphins.
Commanders game talking about can you put on the Dolphins game? No, I can't. Go ahead.
He just sit the fuck down.
I don't want to walk in on it.
No, I can't put
Are
on
the Dolphins
Dolphins
contenders
game.
or pretenders, Pete?
Uh-oh.
They're pretenders. You won't hurt my feelings, bro. I don't give a shit.
No, pretenders,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It's not it's not looking crazy this
I'm
year.
locked in on Commanders football, bro.
Type shit.
Get well soon, too.
All right. Next up is the Las Vegas Raiders. And all I'm going to say about this is you said something about Bob Saleh not being good in the media.
said
Antonio
Bob?
Pierce.
said Bob Saleh?
Bob, yeah.
Oh.
Robert, Bob, you know. they
He
change
might
it.
be worse.
Antonio Pierce is awful.
Yo, tilt your
Media.
mic like up. The
They-
actual microphone.
Oh.
They're having a quarterback duel in between week 5 and 6? Did you guys see that? That he doesn't know who's starting week 6? That they're going to
Ridiculous.
figure it out in practice?
Ridiculous.
That's nuts.
Wait, what was this?
Antonio Pierce, they bench Gardner Minshew, and they put in Aiden O'Connell. And now they asked him who's starting week 6. He says, I don't know. We're going to figure it out in practice.
So
I don't know. We're going to figure it.
Pretty much.
I mean, I guess he's being honest.
I
No,
know.
they're not verbatim,
If you're
but
gonna
yeah.
make the change, just make the change.
Yeah, and
go all the way in.
stand on it. I know Gardner threw the pick 6 to PS2. Who threw the interception to Riley Moss? Aiden or
I
Gardner?
think it was Aiden.
Bro,
Shout out
Shout
Riley
out
Moss.
Riley Moss.
I was on my couch. I'm laying on my couch. I'm looking at my phone, and I see it go up. I see it get intercepted. I go, yeah, white guy took the ball. Yeah.
Monumental
A white
moment,
corner
bro.
intercepting a football. This is
And that's not just one miraculous play, by the way.
monumental-
Riley Moss is a damn good football
Oh, he
player.
had a freaking
He's
day.
changing the
He
game.
had a
Football
day.
player. He
Oh
is
my gosh.
jaking. He is changing the game. That's Riley Robinson, goddamn it.
Bro, and bro, Pat Surtain was on the Pat McAfee show. I think it was yesterday or today, whatever it was. And he was talking about Riley Moss, and he was just like, he's like, no, that boy can play. Like, he's like, that boy can play, and he's like, did you guys see the pick? He's like, he gets up. He's like,
You know what it does for me to see Hunter Renfro run routes? It's like it's spiritual. You know?
Yo,
Jordy
what
Nelson
a
in his
moment,
prime.
bro.
Oh my God, put
Jordy
it on
Nelson
for
in
us,
his
man.
prime, bro. Oh
All right.
man,
What
but
a moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
nah. Raiders are
Raiders suck.
pretend. You don't
Yeah,
even gotta
Raiders
ask that one. Raiders are pretenders.
And then 2 teams left: Indianapolis Colts, Joey Flacco under center.
Pretender. Yeah.
Oh man,
I feel better with Flacco under center.
I'm
They're not
loving it.
contenders, obviously.
They are a better football team objectively with Flacco
Yeah.
under center. Yes, but
They're
there's
fun. Oh my! Speaking of the witching hour, boy, they made that shit interesting. Versus
Yeah.
Jaguars, holy shit, bro!
Dude,
That shit was crazy.
Holy shit!
That shit I'm talking about. When I said I was
he
entertained this
was
weekend,
dropping dimes, bro. Those balls to Alec Pierce were nuts.
Nuts,
That
bro.
shit was on a
Nuts.
string, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That was actually
Right in the
insane
bucket.
because the Jags managed to find a new way to lose every week, and I was like, oh shit, it's happening again.
they
Like,
find a new way to
Not
lose
in
every
those
week.
really
jerseys.
do.
So, not
But-
in those jerseys.
Yeah,
It couldn't
yeah.
happen in those jerseys.
bro,
or in the debut.
Trev looked great, but Indy makes everyone look good. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Those jerseys were a whole fire emoji.
I ordered
They were.
one.
Did you?
I ordered the Brian Thomas
That one's
jersey.
gas.
I need it, bro.
All right.
that one's gas.
And the last team we have here, New York Football Giants.
We all know the fucking answer to this.
We sure do.
They're obviously contenders.
Right.
Should
Time out.
oh
time out.
wait, what the fuck? Wait,
Time out, Pete.
wait, what the fuck?
Time the fuck out.
Wait.
What do you want in good football teams? What do you want?
Rattle 'em off.
Trenches.
Players.
You want
Good play-
You're damn right you want good players.
A
You
win.
ready? So I'm going to tell y'all good players
Fucking
right now.
win. Wait.
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas, John Runyon, Jermaine Illuminor, Malik Neighbors,
Nice.
Darius Slayton,
Real good.
Tyrone
Come on,
Tracy,
bro.
Devin
Darius
Singletary.
Slayton, get
Hold on, I'm
this
not
guy
done.
out of
Hold on,
here.
I'm not done. Daniel Jones, Dexter Lawrence, Brian
Yeah.
Burns,
Yep.
Deontay Banks, Jason Pinnock, Tyler Nubin, Andrew Phillips. The Giants are contenders, and they're coming. They're coming hard.
Oh, yo.
It's like one of those ghost nuts where nothing comes out.
Great O-line. No,
Where you,
that's-
where you
shooting
feel it, but
blanks.
nothing comes out,
The
bro.
Giants are shooting blanks.
great O-line. Great D-line.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks improving by the day. We have some of the best coaching in the entire NFL, point blank, period. That is just the fact. They have prepared the
Oh my God. Is this a
Oh
game?
my God, this might be a game. Oh my God, this
Yo,
might
that was
be
a grand slam.
Yes, bro.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
What's the score of fans blocking us?
6-5.
6-5, bro. Sorry, guys. We have some playoff baseball on the Dodgers-Padres game, and this game's fucking crazy.
This is
right now.
crack cocaine. I can't wait to watch this after.
This is. Are you gonna rewatch this whole thing?
No.
Yep.
I was like, bro. I'm like,
No.
that's crazy.
No, like I know what you guys are all gonna say. No, the Giants can't make the fucking Super Bowl. I know. So they are pretenders, in effect. But this football team is a lot better than people thought it was going to be, and that makes me very happy. This Sunday, we need to win that game against Cincy. I think that's probably the biggest make or break
in
game
prime time.
in prime time. Look, prime time Kirk turned it around.
Yo, if the Giants win this game in prime time, I'll flash my tits.
Oh my God,
Heard it here
chat.
first.
Chat.
It hits home.
Chat.
DJ.
Nah, but in all seriousness, listen, I'm the first guy to hate on the Giants just because it's fun. You got to give credit where it's due. And
Danny's been playing some good ball.
Danny has been playing. Danny has been playing some great football.
Yeah,
Not even just good. He's been,
Dallas game was wrong.
Danny.
see, that's where we disconnect. Because we were both at that game. I thought Danny played a good game against Dallas. Honestly, I really did. Maybe he missed on a
some
few
deep
deep
balls,
balls, but
yeah.
I really
But
did.
those changed the game.
They do. But I really do think he played a good game against Dallas. And then-
Aside from those, he played a great game.
And then this game, I mean, all around, not even just
Yes.
Daniel Jones, just all around a team effort. And this draft class is
Bingo.
moving mountains
Bingo.
for this organization. I mean, Tyrone Tracy filling in the void. Obviously, they have Malik Neighbors. The guys in the secondary, Nubin, right,
Phillips and Nubin.
Phillips. I mean,
Nubin,
they're
yeah.
playing some great football. And like you
Lights
mentioned,
out.
and I always say this too, it always starts in the trenches. And the O-line's playing great. They're getting great push. They're protecting Daniel Jones. And then that D-line, man. Dexter Lawrence needs to be talked about in the Defensive Player of the Year
They have the
Thank
most sacks in the
you.
NFL.
Thank
Dexter
you.
Lawrence is on like Aaron Donald pace right now. The season he's having has been ridiculous. So I got to give credit where it's due. I do think this team's a pretender,
Yes.
but I think this division as a whole, we talked about it last week with the Commanders. The Giants are playing some great football. This division, and given the state of those two other teams, the team in green and the team in navy blue, it's open and there's a chance. And the way the Giants are playing football right now, the door is 100% open. I hate to say it, but I got to be objective and I got to call it out as the Giants are playing some great football right now. And
Hell yeah.
if they could steal one from the Bengals in prime time, man, oh boy, the conversations are going to get real.
It shouldn't even, the problem is I look at it right now and I don't, because like the problem is it shouldn't be stealing this game. It shouldn't be a steal. We're home.
I mean, the Bengals are 1-4 too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We're
Bengals
home
not
and
a
the
good
Bengals
team.
are 1-4. It shouldn't be a steal.
Yeah, but if
The Bengals,
dude, what does it do for Danny's confidence if he goes out there and like
Balls out in a
balls
primetime
out
game.
versus Joe Burrow in a primetime game? Like maybe not outplays him because Burrow's been playing some good ball too, and the defense sucks, so he has to. But like if Danny
keep
puts up a
doing
good
what you're
game,
doing.
yeah,
Protect
like
the goddamn
Exactly.
his
Exactly.
confidence is going up every week. You can
And-
see it in his throws.
Bro, it's not even just that. It's his pocket movement.
Right.
It's been
But that comes with confidence
gorgeous,
too. Like
dude.
he thinks he can do more. you know?
Yes, and he's running like he's got a guaranteed
So
option
that's
for
what
next
I
year.
that's what I love.
which is exactly what he has.
He's running and he's dropping his shoulder like he's not a $46 million quarterback. He's saying, I want these wins and I want those 3 yards and I'm gonna fucking take them.
Yeah, but you ready for this?
What?
Because guess what happens if he gets hurt?
Oh no.
Next year's fully guaranteed.
Oh.
So
So he's dropping his shoulder saying, my goddamn money. I don't even
I got
fucking-
nothing to fucking
Come on,
lose.
Come on, that's my ACL. Kick it. Go ahead, kick
I
it.
got nothing to fucking lose.
give me the money.
So
Give me
look, as the Giant fan, no, we're pretenders. I get it. I totally understand. We can't win the fucking
He's the
Super Bowl.
Giant.
Right, he's the Giant.
You're
fan.
a
Forgot.
Giant
Right.
fan.
No, I'm just here.
I said a Giant fan.
No,
You said
you
the
said the
Giant
Giant
fan. You
fan.
literally called yourself the Giant fan.
You said DJ.
Been a Giant fan since I'm fucking 5 years old. I don't need to take that
I think
shit
I'm the
from
main
you.
character. I think
Holy
I'm the
shit,
main
this
character.
guy,
Like I have
bro.
main character syndrome. I do, unfortunately. I guess I'm
Oh,
sorry.
clip that chat.
Honestly, I do want to hear your thoughts on this too because I'm curious as to where you're at with us right now too because like in my
He
mind.
doesn't want to hear me. He just
Fuck.
feels bad.
You
He
don't
feels bad now.
Questions,
He
like-
feels bad now.
No, stop.
No, I think. Listen, as a Giants fan, my Super Bowl is just beating the Cowboys. So that's literally that's my bar. Like that's all I want to do. But now we're heating up. We're cooking as the season goes on. I mean, having a good D line that takes you a lot of places in
Yes.
football. Most sacks on the season. Brian Burns is getting back there like that. Man is quick.
Dexter Lawrence is so
Dex-
good.
It's not fit. You can't
Throws
block
people.
him one-on-one,
Dex
bro.
throws people.
You cannot
for
block him
fun.
one-on-one.
And then you know what he does? If you ever hear Dexter Lawrence mic'd up, he just laughs at you.
You laugh.
He's like, well, you're little. You can't stop me. And they're like, hey, you're right. I can't. You're fucking 350 pounds and you move like butter. It's insane. Like,
That's like just exactly how you would want your big interior defensive lineman to act, to just laugh at all the guys who try to stop him.
How about this?
bro.
If the Giants win, I'll do Oklahoma's with Dexter.
please.
Like I don't know if you'd survive.
No, yeah, probably
Hey,
not.
this-
Yeah.
This is offensive
Offensive lineman of the year. Goddamn it.
Oh, my bad.
Anyone
my bad. My
respects
bad.
Respect him,
Lawrence.
bro.
My
Yeah,
bad.
respect him.
I
bro.
respect your accolades,
Dude, I'm not even asking you to fucking respect my accolades. There's no way.
Like, I don't even respect that.
I am not doing Oklahoma.
You can't block the
He
worst
just wants to
NFL
feel
player in the
some, bro.
You can't block the worst.
He's having a rough time at work. He just wants to feel some.
But no, I mean, realistically, this is a move.
But dude, look, I hate to say it, but if Daniel Jones continues to get better, I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar by any means, but just controlling the offense throughout the entirety of the season and a defense that's very young that's only going to get better.
He didn't have Malik Neighbors.
Exactly. Like
Darius Slayton looked like a football
bro,
player.
Brian Dable is in his motherfucking
Brian-
bag.
They just here.
God.
There were Giants fans calling for that man to be fired.
Oh my
Insane.
gosh, bro.
Insane. His one mistake this season was the fact that he didn't elevate a kicker for that Commanders game.
Right.
Because we would be a 3-2 football team right now.
And
Point blank.
shout out Isaiah Simmons.
What a fucking
block
play.
that kick.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like the defense too. It's like, I kind of said it about the Cardinals. It's young and it's an athletic defense.
Yes.
Like so.
flying, bro.
Again,
They're
that's
flying.
a unit that could heat up. As the
And when
season
you
goes
have
on.
those guys up front where it's like, I don't have to guard for 6 seconds. I only got to guard for 3 seconds because I know my big boys up front are going to get there.
Right.
It's just, it brings so much life to the
and
secondary.
you can run that cover too
And
that everyone hates.
Yeah, you see
'Cause
it.
you got
Those
four
guys
guys
are
that can get
fucking
there.
flying all over the place. It's fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
They've been fun to watch. Like I said, I got to give them credit where it's due. And one thing, though, might be a fluky win against the Seahawks because of, I sent it in the chat. I don't know if you guys saw Chris Long's theory, which is pretty cool. The Lions hangover.
Yeah, I did see that.
The
no
Lions
one plays good
hangover.
after the Lions.
Everyone after you
Lions.
play the
Yep.
Lions, you're beaten up because I mean we know that's the way the Lions want to play. They want to beat you
Well,
up.
give me all the lines.
And
Hangovers. Win's a win.
yeah, yeah.
Win, fuck.
I'll
Yeah, for
take
sure.
it.
A win's a win, but I
But
just
again,
wanted to
it's
bring
definitely
that
an
to the
interesting
pod.
theory,
Yeah,
yeah.
But at the
very
same
interesting.
time, I would agree with you, but we also, there's a legitimate world where we could be a 4-1 football team.
No, the Giants are playing
Which
well. I
is-
just wanted to make that point.
And you're
about
right.
the
You're
Lions
100%
hangover.
right. That Lions
Because it's
hangover
very
is a thing.
interesting for like bettors and people who are betting.
Yes.
Sadly, they were on bye this week, so that no one's gonna have a Lions hangover going
Right.
into this week. But who do the Lions play this week?
I don't even
Cowboys?
remember.
I want to see it because
The Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yeah, it is the Cowboys.
Oh boy.
They played the
Oh,
Cowboys.
boy.
Yep.
they play the Cowboys. So I'm not curious to see the Lions Cowboys game. I'm curious to see how the Cowboys perform in Week 7.
Cowboys
like
suck.
honestly, I'm
Yeah.
very curious to see this theory. So yeah.
It's wide open in the NFC East. Giants got to capitalize. That's
Hell
all.
yeah.
Giants got to capitalize. All right. We were talking about confusing contenders, pretenders. Look, I spoke about my Giants, and they have been the most confusing NFL team, in my personal opinion. Look, 1 week, we look like a great football team, and then the next, we completely blow it and shit on ourselves. So, I just wanted to say that my New York Giants have been the most confusing football team for me in my head because I could sit in front of a television.
He said, "My Giants." Tom's like, "They're mine too."
Sure.
Our Giants have been the most confusing football team to me because there have been drives. And on a drive-to-drive basis, I don't know what I'm expecting from this team. And that's the problem. There are drives where they look dominant all the way up until the 1-yard line where we fumble and it goes the other way. But you know what? The last 2 weeks have ended in disaster for the Giants. And the worse it gets, I guess, in the beginning, they start with disasters and then the Giants turn it around completely. I think that was actually not the last 2 weeks, but our 2 wins so far this year. The worse they start, the better the team finishes. So all in all, I don't know what to expect. And that's part of the problem. We mentioned before, if they go in and steal the Sunday night game against Cincinnati. The problem is we don't know what to expect from the Giants on a week-to-week basis.
They could get spanked out by Cincinnati.
Exactly.
like-
This shouldn't be a Giants need to steal a win against Cincinnati, given we're home and the Bengals are 1-4. This should be the Giants are favored and should be favored to win this football game. I expect them to do exactly that. But the relative unexpected nature of Daniel Jones and the Giants as a whole leaves us questioning what they could be on a week-to-week basis. And as a fan, if they win this week, I think I could very much put that to rest and expect good football for the remainder of the season. But the Giants are the most confusing team in the NFL.
I mean, great points. Yeah, you hit it on the head. We kind of we spoke about them a lot, gave them some high praise, but yeah, you're right. You don't know what you're going to get from week to week. My most confusing team, I was at first when we asked this question, I thought about the Cardinals, but being that you guys also gave them a lot of high praise earlier, I'm gonna go with the Indianapolis Colts. I think there's a very real road to them being 4-1, like you said about the Giants right now. If Anthony Richardson could just line up a few routine throws, if their defense wasn't a run funnel, like if it was just bad against the run,
It's bad
it'd be
against
okay.
everything.
But if it was like, it's like god awful
I think
against everything.
Bigsby looked like fucking Walter Payton.
Yep.
Yeah, he sure did.
So-
And
My
No
God.
And
better-
Trev had the best game of the season.
yeah,
Yo,
so,
that touchdown run by Tank Bigsby was
Insane.
not
Nuts.
the
Yeah.
first one. He had two. The first one where he was just dragging guys with him.
Nuts.
It was crazy, bro.
So most confusing team in the NFL has the most confusing player under center. Anthony Richardson, man. This guy throws a 60-yard, I think it was week 1 literally when he threw that crazy 60-yard
Pierce,
bomb.
yep.
Not even a touchdown. It was another one. He threw a crazy like 50-something yard bomb. And then what does he do? He misses Michael Pittman on a 7-yard out route.
Yes.
Like, I just don't understand how that happens in NFL football. And now it's like, well, you look better with Joe Flacco. They are a better offense, better football team with Joe Flacco under center. But when Anthony Richardson's back, are you gonna bench him? And I mean, he's got a lot of confidence, that guy. But you know, that's straight up killer. You get benched for a 39-year-old. You know, like, and even if he is the best backup in football, I love Joe Flacco. But Forrest Buckner's out for the defense. Kenny Moore's out for the defense. Big losses there. But still, I do think there's a good football team in Indianapolis. It's a little bit of sloppy plays, and it's just a little bit getting
They
unlucky.
just aren't the Colts.
No. Yeah.
And it's just like, I agree with you. It's so confusing. And the decision they'll have to make when Anthony Richardson comes back is confusing
Right.
because I completely agree on you. I was probably the highest out of all of us in the Colts preseason. I think I actually picked them to win the division.
You did. Yeah. I think you
Yeah,
did.
I was very high on the Colts. I love their roster. I love their
good very
offense
good roster.
on paper. And I love the coaching. I love Shane Steichen. I love the fast pace they play with. But this team is good enough not to contend for a Super Bowl, but this team is good enough to win some football games and maybe sneak into a
agree.
playoff spot. But from what we've seen 5 weeks in, they have the best chance of doing that with Joe Flacco under center.
Yep.
And now you have a guy in Anthony Richardson who we've been talking about it for pretty much the duration of this podcast, that confidence is everything in football, especially for the quarterback. And Anthony Richardson coming back from injury and Shane Steichen and the general manager saying, we know you're healthy, but we're going to go with the 40-year-old Joe Flacco, who
Take a seat.
is in no way, shape, or form a part of our future plans. How does that affect his confidence? Because I agree with you. Anthony Richardson is, again, we don't know these guys personally, but from what we see, he's a guy who just exudes confidence. It jumps off the
You
page.
play
at
how you live life.
Right.
He has aura.
Right. Yeah. It
yeah.
just jumps off the screen. So, yeah, I mean, that the Colts are confusing, and they have confusing decisions to make.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
100%. And it's something that I think us and the football world is going to be paying very close attention to these next few weeks.
And if
Yep.
you give AR the job back, he's already shown you he has a propensity to get hurt. So what? You're just going to turn it right on back to Joe Flacco potentially in a couple weeks? Like, can we rely on Richardson to stay healthy, and can we rely on Richardson to run
And
an
then, like, if
NFL offense?
Flacco's in and out of the lineup, what do you really expect
Yes,
from him? Like, you know, he
exactly.
can't get a groove going
Well,
with these
no,
guys.
no. He's the pro's pro.
He is.
Flacco can step the fuck
Joe
in at
Flacco
any
can step in at any moment, throw
Maybe-
350 yards.
Yeah.
Maybe let Flacco, let him cook. Let him do his thing.
I think you have to
Hey.
do what's best for the team. Like,
Yeah,
these guys want to win. These guys all want
AR's
to
got
win.
many more years to play, bro. like
It's just rough because
His problem is he hasn't played.
he was such a project player that
Yeah.
he needed fine-tuning and development, and he's not going to get that while he's hurt for sure.
Oh, hell no,
But
yeah.
he's definitely not going to get that when he's I know you could pick up and learn a thing or two, but
Yeah.
when you did go into the season as a starter and then you lose your job to 40-year-old Joe Flacco,
39.
like you're not gonna
Respect.
you're not gonna be able to work out those kinks and polish those skills that we all say as a raw athlete you need to develop. So it's a very confusing and interesting situation, and it's deeper than this year for them. Although we want to see how they shape up this year, we want to see Joe Flacco slinging that rock around for sure. Because boy, is that fun! But it's way deeper than this year because this guy, number 5, Anthony Richardson, he's supposed to be the franchise. So it's all very confusing. The Colts, that was a great pick. My most confusing team in the NFL right now, they're sitting at 3-2, It's the Green Bay Packers, and I just don't know what to make of them. They started 0-1. Jordan Love gets hurt. They played an okay game against the Eagles. It was very sloppy. Lots of turnovers on both sides of the ball in that game. It was what was that? That was a Saturday game in Brazil,
game,
Friday
yes.
game in Brazil,
Friday
whatever
game
it
in
was.
Brazil.
So just a weird game.
I scrapped that
Yeah,
out.
just a weird game all around. Then Jordan Love gets hurt, and we see. Let me make sure I get Matt LaFleur.
Yes, this is
Oh,
Matt.
okay.
Yeah.
A Matt LaFleur masterclass in 2 weeks with
Yep.
Malik Willis, a guy who everyone and their mother wrote off, and he got to the team 2 weeks before the season started. We see a Matt LaFleur masterclass and just scheming up a great game. And then we see this team play the Vikings, and the Vikings on their high horse, undefeated at the time, in a divisional game. The Packers were supposed to be the far better team, right? That's what we all predicted preseason. The Vikings did not stack up against the Green Bay Packers. The Packers were supposed to be a Super Bowl team, and the score says 31-29. The Vikings dominated them. Got up 28-0, and it looked like it was over. And then we see Jordan Love flip this switch and become prime Peyton Manning with the Broncos and throw, 5 touchdown passes, whatever it was, bring them all the way back. And then they fall short. And Dontavion Wicks, and then the receivers are hurt. Christian Watson's hurt. Romeo Doubs, we thought was hurt at first, but then we find out is unhappy with his situation and just wasn't showing up to practice. And then the team has to suspend him. So we see Dontavion Wicks step into a role, and sure, it looked great for fantasy because he had 2 touchdowns, but we mentioned it all last week. He had 13 targets and only caught 5 of them, and everyone said he's the must-start of the week. Dontavion Wicks' stock is up, and then we see this game against a hobbled and injured hospital bed Rams team that the Green Bay Packers, who we think are, we're supposed to be a Super Bowl contender, should take care of pretty handedly. They barely won that game, and I'm going to be honest, I think the Rams lost that game more than they won it.
Yes.
Jordan Love with the Shaqtin' a Fool moment of the year with that pick 6, throwing it out of the back
That
of the
was so
end zone.
bad,
It's
dude.
what are you doing?
And
So-
the craziest part is he ran into the end zone.
Yeah.
And then threw it.
So
get
Jordan
it out.
Love's look questionable. The run game is kind of there, kind of not there. It started out really good. Josh Jacobs was averaging like 6 yards a carry. It's kind of the efficiency has fallen off week by week, which is a little bit concerning. The receiver thing's a mess because in this game against the Rams, Dontavion Wicks literally had stone hands, and he just
That's his problem.
Yeah, I mean, Dontavion Wicks, if he didn't have stones for
wide
hands,
receiver
would
that
be,
can't catch the ball?
would be
Yeah.
Jerry Rice, right? And it's
Right,
just
yeah.
like, well,
He
that's
would be so good.
well, Christian Watson, we can't rely on to stay healthy. Romeo Doubs is, whether he comes back or not, he's checked out. Like, it's done. The ship has sailed.
Don't worry about it. They got prime Gronk.
Shout out Tucker Kraft.
Shout out Tucker
Yeah,
Kraft.
shout out Tucker
Dog.
Kraft. But
Excellent.
I mean, I looked at some of the stats. The Rams dominated in all the stats that you
Yes.
think a team would win a football game.
Yeah.
Total yards, time of possession, all that fun
That's
juggle.
coaching.
But the key here was the takeaways. And it's like, okay, this defense has been really great, taking the ball away. The defense as a whole hasn't been great. They're giving up yards,
Yeah.
but they're forcing turnovers.
Bend, don't break.
But then you look at it and it's like, well, Xavier McKinney's on the historical run of all historical runs, the only player in NFL history to force to have an interception in his first 5 games with a team. And it's just like, well, is that sustainable for the defense? I don't. Like, are we going to rely on Xavier McKinney to get an interception every single
They're also
game?
missing pieces, too, to be
For
fair.
sure. And so it's just, is the defense good, or are they just getting a little bit lucky with Xavier McKinney just being in the? And listen, I love Xavier McKinney. He got dog in him,
Oh,
and I'm sure you guys
trust me.
love him too.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, Xavier McKinney's a fucking dog, and
I
shout
love
out to him
X.
for playing well. And
We couldn't
well.
pay him.
but it's like, is that level of defense and forcing turnovers sustainable for this team? The offense has been so wishy-washy, and for a team that was in a lot of, not in my eyes, but in a lot of people's eyes, a Super Bowl contender going into this season, I don't think they've looked like much of a Super Bowl contender. But then where it gets even more confusing is I know that it's in there that Jordan Love could go on the same type of stretch he went on to end last season, and this could be the team to beat going into the playoffs. Or they could just continue playing at a pretty mediocre level offensively, and the turnovers can kind of come back down to earth. And now we're looking at a not so great football team in a division that's way stronger than we expected, with the Vikings being at the top of the division,
And the Bears looking
undefeated,
good
and
now.
the Bears are great too. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this team's a contender or not. I said they weren't going into the season, but like I said, there's that world where Jordan Love just does exactly what he does last year and goes nuclear. I don't know how I feel about the defense. The run game is, like, overall, the team is just so wishy-washy in pretty much every aspect of the game. And through 5 games, they've been pretty inconsistent in every aspect of football aside from forcing turnovers, which is kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
It's not a sticky stat.
random. Yeah, it's the most random stat there is. So it's like, that's where we've been the most consistent. Like,
Could be
are we
great
gonna,
defense, could be bad offense,
Right.
mix of both.
Yeah. So I'm very confused with the Packers. I don't know where you guys stand with that. I don't know if you guys.
No,
feel-
it's definitely a rock solid take. I mean, like you said, you mentioned the receivers. Watson can never be trusted to get in the lineup, and Wicks can't catch the ball. Pretty important when you're a wide receiver. And Romeo Doubs, you hope it's not something else going on. I'm gonna put that out there just in case, like, he's got, because like it's just a weird thing that I'm not getting targets. I think he's second on the team in targets or something like that.
Nah,
Or-
he going in.
He's up there.
Now he's 4th.
oh, he's fourth. Okay, well.
Going in, he was
Going in, I think he was second and
And
third.
going into the season, like, you knew it was going to be no one dominator of targets. And now Watson's out. Wicks can't catch the ball. Your team needs you. And you just disappear. I mean, like I said, so I hope it's nothing serious going on. I hope he just wants the ball more and it's just being a wide receiver diva. But if you are, come on, get over it.
This was your chance.
Right. But other than that, Jordan Love is just so volatile. Like,
Yep.
there were 2 4th downs in that Vikings game where he launched the ball down the field. And one of them was at the end of the game. And I don't think you should ever do that. Even if a guy is wide open down the field, okay, sure. But it's still a risk in case it just falls through his hands, whatever. Get the first down. So, but again, that volatility is what got him the contract that got him. It's what makes our opinion on the Packers so high. So, definitely going to need a few weeks on them to see where they're at. And I love the Packers. They're one of my favorite teams to watch in the league. So I really hope they can get to who we think they can. I think it's in there, but yeah,
What's their identity? Like, we look at these teams that we talk
are they
about
a
as
tough run,
contenders.
ground and pound,
Yeah,
run the
like,
football down your
or
throat?
do they want Jordan Love throwing it 50 times a game? Like, what is their identity offensively? And again, with the defense, I don't know what their and again, you mentioned they're missing pieces, Matt, which is definitely important. They need to get some guys back because I do think they have a lot of talented pieces on that defense, and they've shown over the years with this core of players on defense that they put out. I'm not going to say great, but pretty solid defenses every year. Yeah, for sure. They're definitely an above-average defense, like, in my estimation. But how good are they?
It's funny. They're ranked second on fantasy, actually, right now.
Right, because of all
Exactly.
the
You need to get the ball
turnovers.
there.
Right.
So, Pete, do you have a team that you would say is surprising or like confusing to this point?
You can't figure out who
I
they
feel like
are.
the Packers is definitely like,
There's an obvious one for
like,
you.
oh yeah, the Jets.
Yes.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no. I mean, they're definitely the most. Yeah. Wow. I just got confused as I was trying to fucking answer that. It's so
Oh,
confusing.
there you go. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Everything we've literally talked about, it's just so fucking confusing. Like everything is a big fucking question mark. Like, I'm not.
Question.
I don't even.
Yeah.
French.
Put some sauce
Yeah.
on.
Like.
I think it just matched. It made sense. We talked about them so much.
Yeah, that's the thing. So other than the Packers, like, yeah, the Jets, 100%. We touched on that crazy. Like,
that was
yes, I'm very confused.
Yeah.
That was good. I was proud
I'm
of
trying to think. Is there actually anybody that maybe
Eagles.
the Chargers?
Eagles are
Chargers are another one.
What the heck is
The Eagles are just frauds.
I
They
feel
may.
like I feel
They
like
may be.
I feel like the
They
Chargers
are.
weren't going to be in the conversation at all tonight. But like, if we're talking about confusing teams, like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
It sucks because they didn't play. Same thing with the
They did not
Eagles.
play
They
this
both
week,
didn't
yep.
play last
Yeah.
week, so it's like
Chargers
that's
are a boring team.
that's
too.
a week of evidence for us to kind of
Right.
get
We'll
where
touch on that
these
another
teams
time.
are at that we
Yeah.
didn't see. So it's like,
Yeah.
but I agree. The Chargers, it's like
where are we? Like,
how
like,
good?
Hey, Lad McConkey, like, great job.
Yeah,
But
it's
what
like
the
how
fuck's going on with
good
the team
really
this
are
season?
you,
Like-
and how far can the Harbaugh system really take you? Because it's looked good, but it's also not looked good. through
Chargers
4
historically
games.
might be the most confusing franchise
for
sure.
in the NFL.
Bingo. There you go.
For
I
sure.
never really put
That's a good point.
myself in the shoes of a Chargers fan, so
I don't
Yeah,
think.
I
I don't
hate
think there
their
are
ones.
any.
They
Not
hate-
that many
That,
shoes out there.
yeah.
The
already.
girl from Thursday
plant?
Night Football.
Oh
yeah,
my
the
God,
industry
yeah,
plant.
Yes, bro. I
out
remember
there
her.
Did us planted a Chargers fan, bro.
They
That's
did.
hilarious.
They really did.
planted.
But
Otani.
we want to do this fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck
Or
it,
do we
I'm
want
here.
to save this for next week?
No, we're on a roll right now.
I'm here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's bang it out. These
let's do it.
should be fast.
So, yeah, no, trying to come up with a catchy transition into this, but I'm just gonna give it to you straight. We're gonna do fantasy football redraft. I mean, you're sitting at home in your leagues. Maybe you're 0-5. Maybe you're 5-0. Maybe you're 1-4. You see where I'm going with this. And you're trying to figure out who the hell is this guy and why did I draft him here? He sucks. Or you're trying to figure out how the hell did I get this guy in the 9th round? Well, we're gonna put some clarity on the fantasy football season, and we're gonna do a redraft of the first 2 rounds.
Let's just do the first round.
We're just gonna do the
do
first
first
round
round.
because no one cares about the second round. We're just gonna do the first 12 picks.
Yeah, we'll each
And-
do 3.
Yeah, we'll each do 3 picks, perfect. And we're gonna redraft the first round of your fantasy football season. And who wants to?
Chris, you want to get us started?
We'll go this way.
Give me the 101.
I'll give you the
101?
101, brother.
All right.
Curious, because I know where I would
What
go.
if we had a redraft our 101 right now is the
In
question,
a
right?
regular fantasy football draft, like
Regular.
12 team, PPR, all that stuff.
Beautiful question.
How do you pull up the thing on
sleeper
Sleeper?
leaders or players?
Oh, it
leaders?
just says
Players and then leaders.
Okay.
That'll make it a lot easier for you.
With the 101, he was my 101 going into the season, and this past week he showed why he should have been the 101. I don't think anything changes here. He's 7-11. He's always open. It's Jamar Chase. I just feel like how could it not? I mean, we just saw him put up 40 points last week, and I don't even think that was the best he could do. I think it could get even better for him. He's that much of a talent. And listen, we talked about it all offseason. What are you looking for? Obviously, you're looking for great players when you're drafting in fantasy. But deeper than that, what are you looking for? You're looking for great offenses with shitty defenses on the other side. Teams that have to score points if they want a chance to win. And the Bengals are exactly
Perfect
that.
storm. Yeah.
The Bengals are exactly
That's
that.
beautiful answer.
Yeah, we saw it in this Ravens game. They didn't win, but they needed every ounce of everything they got from Jamar Chase to even have a chance in this game. So I think, to me, Jamar Chase is the clear 101 if I was drafting today.
Yeah.
If Nico was healthy, does that change your thought process on this or not at all?
I'm still taking Jamar. I just trust the talent of Jamar more than Nico Collins. I love Nico Collins. That's my dog,
Right.
but he's not Jamar.
I wouldn't go 1-on-1.
He's
What
not
if you didn't have to choose between the two?
All right, bro.
Shut up. All right. With the 102, Nico's definitely in consideration, but now week to week with a hamstring, I don't love to hear that. So I'm going to take a guy that has been going crazy, has been balling out, consistent as all hell. I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley. I really think he could run away with the RB1 position, with the RB1 spot. I think the Eagles were on bye this week, and like you said, Chris, what do you want in fantasy? You want a bad defense, you want a good offense. Hello, Eagles. Saquon Barkley with the 102.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's pretty obvious as well. He really hasn't even had a letdown game. This week, he wasn't amazing, but he also wasn't bad. I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara. He's been the one and only focal point of the Saints offense basically throughout the entirety of the season to this point. It's a little tough now given Derek Carr's out and their offensive line is banged up, but I still think no matter who you put behind center, Kamara's going to end up with like 10 to 15
That could be
targets
the
a
offensive
game.
line being banged up could be a good thing for him.
He might end up with 15 targets every game now. We might be going back to last year. One way or another, Alvin Kamara is going to produce. He's the 103 for me.
For me, for the 101, give me the man that has not missed
this
a
is the 104.
touchdown.
This is the 104.
This is even better. The
value is insane.
I'm not picking first.
I can't
Wasn't
believe
listening to
I
us?
can't believe we let this guy get this deep. Give me the man who has not missed a single touchdown this season, Derrick Henry.
I don't think he
Let this guy.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
I think he means like
Bro?
he hasn't had a game where he hasn't scored a touchdown.
Give me the man who hasn't missed a touchdown this single season. Now you fucking me up. Now
factual
you fucking me
You
up.
fucked yourself
All right,
up.
at pick 104, give me the 1.04. Fuck, run it the fuck
Say
back.
104. You're right.
Gentlemen.
Take a
At
breath,
pick
take a breath, take a breath.
104.
There you go.
Gentlemen, at pick 104, give me the man who has not missed a touchdown this season. And stop fucking laughing. Yo, at pick 104, give me the man who has gotten a touchdown every single game, Derrick Henry. All said and done, I honestly would even take this man earlier than the 4th pick.
You would have taken more overall?
Jamar Chase, I would go 101. I would go Derrick Henry over Kamara for a few reasons.
That's fair.
I would go Henry over Kamara.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I agree.
Especially
fair.
given the state of the Saints right now. Also, we're dealing with not just the offensive line, no quarterback.
PPR, I
either.
just think he's a machine.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Because, dude, no, it's funny because I was looking at Kamara first, and I was like,
It's just that touchdown upside between the two.
Yeah, I know.
It's night and day with Kamara with no O-line and no
Right.
quarterback compared to Derrick Henry and the Ravens offense. I get what you're saying, though, with PPR. Like, Kamara's going to get freaking peppered
if
with
this
targets.
was half PPR, I wouldn't even hesitate to take Henry.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know about Saquon, but over Kamara, yeah, for sure. But
yeah, give me Derrick Henry at 104.
Send it back
Send
around.
it back
Go
around,
back
go
to
105.
back.
I'm back. Holy shit. Wasn't ready for this one, but I am.
I feel like there's an obvious guy for you.
At 105, for me.
It's a guy you love. We talked about him at Topgolf, I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, I don't know because you traded him away.
We
So I
did.
don't know how much. you love
So it's weird for me because it's actually not weird at all for me. You're 100% right. I'm going to have to go Kyron at 105. Reason being, he's another man who has gotten a touchdown every single game this season. For me to just let that slip out of my hands, go into this league with two monster... Fuck up. For me to go into this league with two monster running backs.
monster.
Yo. I pick 105. I pick
Hasn't missed a game. Hasn't missed a touchdown.
I pick 105. Give me the man who has gotten a touchdown every single game, Kyron Williams. I'm excited going into this league with Derrick Henry and Kyron.
Well, good thing
Yeah.
you don't get both.
I am
This
so-
is the first round.
Pete, it's a real smart strategy. The guys that score touchdowns are the guys you want on your fantasy team.
100%. Kyron Williams
all.
and everyone's
Going back
wait-
to last season has scored a touchdown.
So
Yeah.
one thing, everyone's waiting for the fall off of Kyron Williams. Everyone's waiting for Blake
Yeah.
Corum to get involved. I mean, Matty J was telling me weeks ago to trade away Kyron Williams. I got Kyron Williams in the 32 men, and I'm the only undefeated team remaining. 32,
Fuck that.
31 puppies and one big dog undefeated at top. Yeah. But no, Kyron Williams, I saw a stat. So I don't remember if I saw this yesterday or 2 days ago. But when I saw it, it was 309. I'm going to go with I saw it 2 days ago. So Kyron Williams, it's been 311 days since the last time Kyron Williams played a football game in which he didn't score a touchdown,
He's such a
which is fucking ridiculous.
Wow.
And Sean McVay, I mean, he was just on an interview today saying, he basically said that I love the way Kyron Williams plays. I love the way he puts his life on the line for the team. I wish we had a team full of Kyron Williamses because we would win every game.
I mean, who wouldn't want a team
Wow.
full of
Yeah,
Kyron Williams?
That
like
is
he
high praise
loves
from
Kyron Williams. He
High
loves him.
stature, man.
And
just in
just
case people were scared.
how
like,
crazy is it that he slid down the draft boards because of he was going to be the punt returner or
Yeah.
the kickoff returner? I
Dude,
mean,
give me a
what
break. They
a
moved
value draft pick Kyron Williams
the
was.
whole point
It
of
was
the
scary.
fucking
It definitely
kickoff.
was.
The
but
whole kickoff adjustment this season was to reduce injury. So like, fuck it, put a
for
dog
sure.
in there, bro.
Yeah,
Scared.
no.
I
for
bet
sure.
you he gets one
I don't even
fucking
know if he's
touchdown.
even returning. Is he actually returning kicks for them?
I haven't really taken note really, but
I think he
Probably
is.
fair catching all of them.
But I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
no
he's
one's
fair
taking the
catching
kicks
all.
out, bro.
Pretty sure he's fair catching all.
Where you going? That
Shit,
time's up.
man.
You auto drafted.
I feel like
really
this pick
should.
is. I feel like
Justin
this pick is
Tucker.
pretty easy. But of course, you do want to see all your options.
Logic obviously wants to push me towards Nico Collins because, bro, he's been lights out all season. He's been amazing. Bro played 13% of the snaps this past week and put up 15.5 because he caught a bomb. Bro, Nico Collins has been arguably the best receiver in the NFL, and I caught so much shit for saying he was potentially going to be top 5. With all that being said, I'm not going to take him. I'm going to take my man, my favorite player in the NFL, my receiver, Malik Neighbors.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, I was
coming.
going there. He's
Well,
on,
I saw that
coming,
on
but I
pace
would-
for 205 targets in 16 games, by the way.
He won't survive
No.
But
Nick just ordered the Neighbors LSU jersey when we did our jersey
That's
order. Yeah.
yeah, Malik Neighbors is the 106 for me. I think it's pretty obvious. If Nico wasn't hurt, things would be different. But Malik Neighbors.
Nico's going to be fine. I'm going to take Nico Collins. I mean, this guy just, like you said, Matt, 13% of snaps, 2 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Before that, 151 yards, 86, 135, 117 in an elite offense. And Stephon Diggs is there, don't care. Tank Dell is there, don't care. CJ Stroud loves Nico
You guys
Collins.
were so right, by the way. So right. I was so scared of Nico because of
He was always the number one.
yeah.
because of Tank Dell
was so
and
fucking
Diggs. Like I was
obvious, bro.
Yeah, it
terrified.
literally
At the end of
was.
the day, talent's gonna win, bro.
Yep.
Like
On
that's
God.
just what it is. Like Nico
And-
Collins he just has it. Like Tank Dell is a cool player and a fun player, but some guys are alpha dog number one receivers, and Nico Collins is just that, and that's
Stroud
just
is looking for him.
like
always.
again, shout out to Tank Dell. He struggled so much this season, and he was dealing with
He
injuries.
doesn't fully look healthy.
And yeah, his time's gonna come.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up on Tank Dell yet, but Nico Collins is just some guys are dogs and some guys are puppies, and Nico Collins is a big dog. Woof woof.
Indeed.
Woof woof.
We
Oh,
got
it's me now.
Yep, I took Nico.
This one's pretty obvious. I mean, I'm getting him here, at the 108, where basically he was going in real drafts
Crazy.
and it looked like a
Yeah.
steal. It's nuts that I'm getting him here. It's Justin Jefferson. I mean, his floor is 15 points right now. He's obviously Sam Darnold's favorite target. He probably would have had a better day in London if Dry Rub Gardner wasn't holding him every single time he was targeted. But, I mean, this guy's just a machine. He's the best receiver in football. It's not a question. And what did I just say about Nico Collins? At the end of the day, talent's going to win. Yeah. And this guy has the most talent out of anyone, and I want him on my team. So with the 108, it's Justin Jefferson, and forgot that I'm back-to-back, so I haven't thought this far.
I think it's still fairly simple. I think you eliminate from this point. I think you kind of take away one position and stick with one. But I don't know how you look at this. There's maybe one more running back that I'd consider, but outside of that, I think it's all receiver for me from here.
Brian Thomas?
If you feel that
Taking a
strongly
ride?
about him.
Nah, not here.
You
But
hopping in?
it hasn't been the start to the season we've wanted for this guy, but again, you got to trust the talent at the end of the day. People were taking him with the 101. We saw last year it took towards the end of the season for it to really get going, but you got to take CD Lamb here. You gotta. So
Yeah, agreed. I'm gonna stick with wide receiver, a guy that hasn't. I mean, he's had one bad game, but other than that, has had 3 really good games, and he was on bye this week. But I'm gonna go with Amon-Ra St. Brown from Detroit Lions. I
Good
mean,
call.
again, like I said, 4 points in week 1, but since then, 20. And that's basically his floor, and they're looking for him. You know, he can get in the end zone, and he's a target hog. So, yeah, give me Amon-Ra.
he's one of those guys who the end zone and him, they have a magnet connection. Like he just finds
The
a
end zone
way.
is his late night
yeah,
booty call.
yeah, he
Be like,
finds
hey,
a
what
way
you
to
doing?
get there.
I'll hop in there.
Yeah. Whether it's throwing the ball to Jared Goff or doing it himself, like
Yep.
he'll find a way to
Yeah,
get that
was
ball
all-
in
he will
that
score
end
a
zone.
What a
touchdown.
dot. What
Yo,
a dot.
that was a dot,
dot.
bro.
Over the shoulder?
Oh my god.
And what a catch by
Yeah, shout
Jared
out
Goff.
Goff for-
Laid hands.
There
Like,
ain't 32 quarterbacks making that throw.
Bro,
Fuck that.
oh my God, what a dot! Yeah, shout out Amon-Ra, man, and the celebrations that comes with Amon-Ra.
he's awesome.
What do the kids say? The hungry dog acquires the bone. It's simple.
It's just that simple.
I really just want to get down on all fours and crawl around too, like he did and Kai Cenat did, but I'm not gonna do that for the podcast.
bro, if you just, come on.
But
go on.
bro, the hungry dog just finds it. The way Amon-Ra finds his way to the end zone is the way the hungry dog will find the bone. It's that simple.
Yep.
I honestly forgot about Amon-Ra, to be honest, but I didn't forget about this guy, and I was super high coming into the season, and I'm very happy that he's finally paying it all off. I pray this injury isn't super serious. Please don't do that. That would make me
I
miserable.
almost cut Jamar Chase from his roster.
Are you on Dynasty right now? Yo.
Electric.
Hey, over.
We obviously would have gotten that taken care of. I wouldn't have lost
No, we
Jamar
wouldn't have.
Chase.
The league
that.
would have voted against you losing Jamar Chase. It's a democracy, bro.
Fuck out of here. Anyways, I was very high on him coming into the season, and he's finally penned it all off. I hope that injury isn't bad. It is Drake London. This man, as I said, is an alpha of all alphas. There was something about it. When I was talking to Dean, when we had that conversation, I said, I don't know what it is, but Drake London is better than the other two. He has a characteristic about him, and it's called dog. It's called dog. And Drake London has that, and goddamn it, this week was the coming out party. He's here.
And
He's beautiful.
shit, if the Falcons are gonna let Kirk air that ball out like that, Drake London's
my
value
God.
goes uppity. So before you give the 112 Pete and end it off, I genuinely have to ask: Drake London or Brian Thomas rest of the season in fantasy? I mean, you picked Drake London, so I know your answer.
I'm going Drake London.
Yeah,
Drake London, yeah.
without thinking, not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
No, it's closer than
Brian
people think.
Thomas
Closer
is
than people
here,
think for
bro.
sure, but yeah.
Yo, Brian Thomas is here. I'm taking Brian Thomas over. I don't think he's gonna make the first round unless Pete makes me super happy and drafts him here. But Brian Thomas, if we were redrafting and we did the second round, he's going in the second round,
Yeah.
like 100%.
Yeah.
He's a dog, but
He's a locked in wide receiver one, for low end wide receiver one, high end wide receiver two. For
I was
the
about
rest
to
of
say
the
I think
season.
he's a high-end wide
Yeah.
receiver
Yeah.
too. Rest
like
of
locked in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, going at 112, I can't believe this guy made it this far
He
down.
didn't.
He
Don't
didn't.
draft him. He did not make it to you. I promise you, Pete. Do not draft the guy that you're thinking.
Who took him? Who took him?
Who was he thinking?
Oh, okay. My bad, bro.
Who was he thinking?
Wait, he also. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I thought I just dropped him. His stat. You don't even want to know. What the fuck. Oh, I clicked. Okay. I also can't believe this guy made it this far down to me.
Fuck it.
I'm gonna have to go with the man, Jaden Reed.
Dog.
Crazy that happened. But
Yeah. This guy has just been taking all the opportunities he gets and amounting on them.
Mhm.
His average yards per carry
Word.
are looking at about on the mid end, like 19 yards per carry. Dude,
Catch.
all right. I'm gonna restart this whole fucking.
No,
shit.
you're good, bro. You're
Yeah.
good,
You're
bro.
flowing.
I got you.
No,
You're flowing like a river.
dude. At the 112, Jaden Reed, it's a no-brainer. He's got the right guy throwing the ball to him. Maybe Kraft takes away from him next week. I don't know, but I'm going Jaden Reed. It's a no-brainer for me.
He's the clear number one target
Yep.
in an
Very
offense
good
that
offense.
we all predict to put up a shit ton.
Maybe a
of
shaky
points.
defense.
yeah.
So the thing about Jaden Reed is it's not even volume. It's just every
so
time he
efficient.
touches the goddamn ball, and he gets carries too on occasion. So anytime he
He can score a
touches
touchdown on any play.
the ball, he's so electric.
I mean, you look how great
So
Malik
electric.
Neighbors is, and I'm not saying Jaden Reed's Malik Neighbors, but these guys who are going to be manufactured touches, and
Yes.
and a coach like LaFleur who is going to put the ball in his playmaker's hands, and he will find a way. Like Jaden Reed is a guy who the volume isn't like, top tier Justin Jefferson level volume, but he's a guy who doesn't need that many touches, and LaFleur is going to make sure he gets his touches
Yep.
because
He can also be a target hog, though.
yeah.
And now the snaps are starting to even have to go higher because you're losing out on receivers now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And he
That's a great
makes
pick.
the most of every single
Oh,
time he gets
I
the
called
ball.
you Dean. That's a great pick, Pete. So I don't know why I
Wow.
called you Dean. That was weird.
you know what's funny? Jaden Reed was the one receiver that has performed well that Lav traded. The only one that he
I
could
know.
use.
Of
at
course,
this
he's
point.
on Dean's team too, bro.
Shout out Rashid.
Yeah,
Rice.
As much
We
as
would've
we're
been
praying
talking
on your
about it.
downfall, like, sorry, Dean, but I'm praying on your downfall too. Dean talks so hot, and his team freaking stinks.
I don't talk unless people provoke me.
Dean's team
And
freaking
Dean
stinks.
provokes me all the fucking time.
I
dude.
want Trunks to win because Trunks don't talk for himself. Trunks just talks when you guys talk crazy, and he just says, "I'm just gonna fuck you guys." Basically, that's like exactly what he says.
So this is how it goes.
He said,
Word
"I'm
for
gonna
word for
fuck you
word, yeah.
guys."
it goes, Dean provokes me, and then I speak and I provoke Trunks to then come in and say, I'm going to fuck you guys.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, no, that's a pretty good representation of how the first round of drafts would go if we drafted right now. If you guys think we missed anyone, let us know in the comments who you think we missed here. Honorable mentions: Jahmyr Gibbs, probably.
Gibbs,
James
there
Cook.
for sure.
James
Yeah.
Cook, Chris Godwin.
Yep.
Those
Yeah.
are some guys. Brian Thomas Jr.
The Maserati.
Not right now. By the end of the season, though, if we come back to this in a few weeks, We'll see.
We'll see.
No tight ends in consideration.
Stephon Diggs.
No.
Tight ends
but
for the first.
Brockington.
Not here. Shout out Brock. Not here. But
Motherfucking come up.
I'm going to be honest. I know it's frowned upon. If we drafted right now and I had the 110, 111, 112, I would seriously be considering Lamar Jackson.
I agree.
I would seriously be considering it.
I agree.
Robbed him from Gallup.
He's been that good. But
Gallup's,
yeah,
Gallup's fun to have in fantasy.
no, he robbed
Oh,
him
you
from
robbed-
Gallup as a
I robbed him.
redraft
Bro,
league.
Gallo has to hate him because he's traded him in 2 weeks and gotten
That's so
fucking
funny.
robbed. Right, like
Yeah.
Yeah, but moving on from guys who are performing well in fantasy football to guys who are busting big ol' loads in our faces, we are going to be building the all fantasy bust team. And we'll just do it together. We'll kind of come to an agreement. We'll do quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, and 1 flex we'll do for the sake of time. So starting at the quarterback position, I'll throw 2 guys out there. I think it's pretty obviously a 2-man race here. It's Patrick Mahomes and Anthony Richardson.
Yep.
I'm okay with whichever one you
It's
guys
AR.
want to
Mahomes,
choose.
really?
It's AR
Mahomes
because
was taken higher.
but AR was about what, a round or 2 later, and now he's not playing.
He might lose his job.
He might lose his fucking job.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Which like at least Mahomes is playing. You're likely like if his name wasn't Patrick Mahomes, you're probably dropping him.
So that's what I was gonna
But-
say is Mahomes is like a guy that you're not like a lot of people are struggling to bench him.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't at this point.
It just it doesn't make sense to me. Even in general, like, bro, this year when everybody was drafting, a lot of people were taking Mahomes like.
I'm looking at a draft now. You got Mahomes.
I don't know, man. Like he's the best fucking quarterback, but like a fantasy quarterback is different
I mean, Mahomes
from
going over
yeah.
Lamar.
from like a talented quarterback. Like
insane.
I want Patrick Mahomes on my team
He
IRL.
did here.
Like I want Patrick Mahomes on my team IRL. Like if I'm playing like and I'm blocking for a quarterback, I want to be
was
blocking
the
for Mahomes.
consensus QB3 in fantasy.
I had him as
yeah.
the fucking QB2 in fantasy,
Yeah, it was-
bro.
Allen
Like
Hurts.
Allen Hurts, Mahomes.
It didn't even make sense
And
to
now
me
it
before.
doesn't. Now it doesn't. It definitely doesn't help, especially for us this season. Even though this is to this point, Rashee Rice being down, like it
Didn't
hurts.
matter.
Yeah.
He could have had everybody. And
Yeah, but he
and
didn't
Mahomes,
put up a
like-
good fantasy.
No,
day.
that's my point. Is like it didn't matter. He was never gonna put.
Yeah,
He hasn't put up
yeah, you're
20
right.
since like week 6 of last year. or
It's
some
been a
shit.
long fucking
Yeah.
time.
a long
dude.
time.
I'm more
So-
disappointed in Mahomes, but the fact that at least he's gonna have a chance
Yes.
to
He has a
turn
high
it around.
floor.
Yeah, and just the fact
Does
that
he though?
12, 14 points. I mean,
That's not a high floor.
I mean, some of these guys putting up donuts. You know, like
yeah,
for a
you're
top-tier
rarely
quarterback,
you're
I
not
don't
gonna
know.
get like a 5-point game like
If you
Sam Darnold
guaranteed
had from
14
Patrick
points for me
Mahomes.
every week, which
I guess yeah.
you know,
That's
like
true.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not great.
You're
but
not looking at it and saying this is gonna lose me a game.
Yeah,
Right.
and at the end of the
Yeah.
day, he's the starting quarterback, and will he turn it around? I don't know. But the possibility is there.
possibility's
So,
always
in
there.
my opinion,
Yes.
I'd rather roster Patrick Mahomes. So, my vote would be for AR here to
I
be the
agree.
quarterback for
Yeah,
us.
I'll go AR.
We're in agreement there?
Yeah,
All right. RB, we'll just do RB1 and 2 together. I'm going to throw out 3 names that I thought about before this, if you guys want to throw some names in there too.
Mhm.
The first 2 names, I think they're pretty obvious. They were going as the running back 2 and 3 in drafts. It's Bijan and Breece Hall.
Yeah,
And I think you can make the case for either one here.
Put them together.
And then if you want to make them the RB1 and 2 for the team, sure. The other name that I wanted to throw out there, because he wasn't drafted as high, but this is a guy that I missed on too so bad, which makes me want to just put him on the bus team. He was going in the second round. It's Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
thing of why, same reason for why I vote Anthony Richardson. I don't know who I'd vote him over on this team between Bijan and Breece, but the fact that he's basically losing his job makes me want to put Etienne on the team.
So I'll say I'd pick either or of Bijan or Breece for an RB1 because I still want to highlight someone else for an RB2 situation. And I wouldn't pick ETN because ETN isn't also losing you weeks. I'd say because for the most part this season, ETN's been sitting around that 10 to 15 point range. But that's not what you drafted him for. A guy that's losing you weeks is Rachaad
that's
White.
exactly where I was going. Yeah,
Rachaad White is, in my opinion, probably the biggest bust in fantasy football because in the same vein that we just talked about AR losing his job, Rachaad White's biggest superpower in fantasy football was the volume and the receiving work. And he's starting to lose a lot of that week by week to Bucky Irving. Hence why I say Rachaad White is the biggest bust in fantasy football.
I'd be okay with doing ETN and White on the team and leaving Bijan and Brees out.
I like
Bijan's
Rashad.
been putting up good floor
Bijan's
games.
not losing you
Yeah,
weeks,
Bijan's been putting up good floor
but
games.
as a Bijan owner, he's
It
pissing me the
stinks.
fuck
It
off.
stinks, and it's just like I can't trade him because
No.
his value's at the
Yep.
lowest. You just got to write it out. But again, he's putting up a really high floor output. Even in a game last week on last Thursday where he was pretty phased out of the game, he still put up? He still
12,
gave you
I think.
12
12
points.
and a half.
10.7.
He still gave you
Oh,
10
did he?
points,
Ah,
which.
God.
Like, if that's his worst game, I'm going to take that. I look at a guy like Travis Etienne, who, sure, he's been doing pretty similar things so far, 10, 12 points, whatever it is, but his snaps are going down and down and down and down. And I know Algiers involved in Atlanta, but Bijan's obviously still the better player. And Bijan,
I would go Brees over Bijan.
yeah, and in terms of the bus.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
I don't know.
I think there's room for Brees to turn it around, but also, I mean, Braylon Allen's there, and Braylon Allen's better than Tyler Algier.
Yeah, I guess because
I just think those guys, like,
four
I
games
know
for Brees.
through where we're at right
Well,
now.
4 games for Brees are 6 points and 3 points.
Yeah, I know. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah,
it's-
that's what I'm.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Bijan has
I
a safer
agree.
floor right now.
It's kind of just been it's more than of a disaster. It's more been like, Braylon coming in, like more eyes on him. Then you got Aaron Rodgers wanting to show Garrett Wilson a lot of love, and
I think the
Lazard a
Jets
lot
are
of
just a
love,
bad
and
run
Mike
offense.
Williams. It's like just too much loose screws in the team that like it doesn't even give Brees the opportunity to prevail.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so Rashad White's a lock for us.
RB2, yeah.
We're eliminating Bijan. We're cool with eliminating
I go
him from
Brees.
the
Brees
conversation.
is my vote.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we're between Brees and Travis Etienne. I'm for Travis Etienne here.
I'm for Brees. Where
Brees?
you drafted him as opposed to
Yeah.
All right, so
what
we'll
you're
throw.
getting
So our
from him.
running backs will be Brees and Rashad White. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I think we're getting way too little out of Brees before we drafted him.
Yeah, 100%. All right,
enough. Okay.
moving on to the receivers, and we could throw one of these running backs we mentioned on the flex if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to receivers, I didn't have any names prepped for this, so if you guys want to throw some names out there.
Yeah, in terms of a bust, I mean,
I'll tell
Debo
you right now, I
Samuel.
think Tyreek
Been
Hill
hurt,
is
I
the biggest
guess.
bust in fantasy football,
Oh.
point blank, period.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I took him
Tyreek Hill's
101.
locked. Tyreek Hill's locked.
It's,
Tyreek Hill.
it's not even his fault.
It's not
either.
his fault.
Not.
It's not even
but
his
call a
fault.
spade a spade. It's Tyreek
the only thing
Hill.
I'll say about Tyreek Hill is like Tua is coming back, and
Tuck
I
Tua?
think then pretty much goes back. Hopefully the Tyreek you expected, but yeah, for now, I mean,
Yeah, Tyreek got to be a lock.
he's the
on team.
worst. You can't play him, but you don't want to bench him
Shit,
either.
do we double up on
I was
Dolphins
about to say that.
receivers?
Jalen
I was
Waddle.
about to say
Yeah,
that.
bro.
It's been bad for
But
like
it's
it's been
fucked up
bad for
'cause it's not even
Tyreek,
them.
but it's been even worse for Waddle.
Or you could take Brandon Ayuk.
But he
Aside
had a
from this past
great
week.
game this past week, you know.
That's what I was
Oh.
gonna say Garrett Wilson, but he also had a
Yeah,
phenomenal
those
game
guys
last
kind of
week.
eliminated
Bro,
themselves
but
from the
prior to this,
conversation.
Ayuk hadn't had a single game over 10 points in PPR. And you
Has
drafted him
Waddle?
in the late second
Michael
or third
Pittman?
round.
Michael Pittman's a good shout. I'd put Waddle on the team over Pittman,
Oh, my God.
but I was like, again, might be personal bias and
Waddle had
upsetting
one
this
game
with me.
over
Waddle
10.
was my guy,
Waddle had one game over 10.
and what
I
was
had
it,
a higher
like
you're
11,
taking
12?
Waddle.
Yeah.
But you're taking Waddle in like the fourth,
No, Waddle
late
like
third, early,
yeah,
late
Waddle,
third, early fourth.
Waddle in most leagues, like people were there on Waddle. So even if his ADP says fourth round, like in the leagues that I was in,
People
like
taking him in the
you had to draft in every league I was in. You had to draft Waddle in the third round if you
We'll
wanted.
double
him.
up on Dolphins.
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I'm looking through. Dude, it's just them two.
It's them
Yeah.
two.
It's
It's
Double up
literally
on
them two.
Dolphins. Yeah,
Yeah.
double up on Dolphins.
tight end. We
All
don't
of
have
them?
to spend long here.
All of them?
Every single one of the highly drafted
It's-
tight
Is that
ends.
for Kelsey?
No,
Mark
But it's-
Andrews.
it's Sam-
Mark
it's Sam
Andrews
Laporta.
ultimately.
It's Sam Laporta.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
bro.
I don't-
Mark Andrews gave
Mark
you two
Andrews.
Oh,
straight
yeah, yeah,
goose
yeah.
eggs.
Yep,
It's
yep,
one
yep.
guy.
It's gotta be Mark
you're
Andrews.
damn
One
right.
guy. It's got to be Mark Andrews.
It's so upsetting, bro.
Sam Laporta like could at least give you 9
drafted him
points.
so
I
high,
know.
though.
I
Like,
know.
Yeah.
Like the one league I got him way past Laporta. I got him way past ADP. I got Laporta in the 5th round in the league I
But
took him in,
to be
so-
honest, I feel like that's appropriate. You're talking about a tight
Bro,
end. Like
Mark
I know
Andrews?
he did the way he
Yeah.
did last year, but like
No, but people
It's a tight end.
Laporta's like ADP was like 2-3 turns.
I'm just gonna
for a
throw this
long
out
it
here.
was
time.
ridiculous. I
I'm
didn't
just gonna
draft
throw
him in
this
one
out
league for that reason.
Yeah, I only drafted him where I got him in the 5th
Yeah.
round.
Laporta has 26.7 fantasy points on the season. Mark Andrews has 22.
Drafted.
He's not that far ahead of him.
But that's because
one
of
more
last game.
One more game.
Right. Okay.
One more game
Wait.
for Andrews. Laporta just had a bye week.
Oh yeah.
Andrews has played 5 games.
Yeah.
Laporta's
Okay.
played
Okay.
4.
Right. Okay.
And bro, he had two.
He had 2 goose eggs.
Two
Yeah,
goose
yeah,
eggs.
that's
Dog.
acceptable.
Goose egg.
The backup
He's
to
a
the
right tackle.
backup was scoring touchdowns.
He's a right tackle.
The backup to the
Yeah,
back,
it's
that
Mark
was
Andrews.
like, even he had his best game of the
So-
season, but the backup to the backup was
So
scoring the
I
touchdowns.
was driving from I was driving home while I was watching Red Zone for the most part, and I don't have Mark Andrews anywhere. Keep in mind, but I look down at my phone and I see a big white guy on the
We all
Ravens
did. We all
running
did
down
the
field.
same thing.
I'm like, holy shit, Mark, go! And then someone's and I'm like, wait, that wasn't Mark Andrews?
What's in Mark Andrews?
was
We
not.
all said that. Me and Trunks were like, said
Yeah.
the same thing.
Dude,
Bro, I
was
keep
watching
talking
that.
about him. I have him in my fucking best ball team that's in first place by a long shot right now.
man.
And I look at my team. I see Jaden Daniels. I see Kamara. I see James Cook. I see all
these
Jamar
hits.
Chase, all these studs. And then I look at that tight end position, and I've gotten more, because it's best ball, you get the most points out of the position. I've gotten more points from fucking Jonnu Smith than I've gotten out of Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm in first place right now, and I'm gonna still have confidence, but like I'm going for that fucking #1 prize in Best Ball Mania, and it's just like this team has no chance, and it's only because of that. Like that's the handicap of my team, and
So
it's so
upsetting.
frustrating.
To this point, Andrews is 100% the lock.
Yeah, for sure.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I think there is.
No way.
I think it's someone's.
He
I think
looks-
it's someone's phone's flashlight.
He
fucking
still
with you.
looks good.
You know when you like bump into the
But he's-
curtain? Wait.
But the thing is, he's such a good blocker.
Hold up.
Yeah.
You know when you bump into
cannot start
good at
him.
it.
You all right? You want to
No,
know
I
what
know,
that
I
light
agree.
looked? You want to know what that light looked like? You know when you like bump into a curtain and then like one of them gets fucked up, so that and, like the whole room's dark, but that one flash of
One
light's
little
by.
ray.
Like
And
that's
immediately
the
goes
amount
away.
of fucking light I see.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Goose eggs is
It's rough, man. It's rough. It's so rough. And then
Flex spot.
oh flex.
so the guys we threw out, we had Travis Etienne mentioned,
Sam Laporta.
Sam Laporta's mentioned, and who were the receivers we mentioned? Pittman and Ayuk. How do we?
Pittman, Ayuk.
I'm good on IU because I think he's.
I'm good on Ayuk. I'm pretty good on Pittman too. I know it hasn't been
Pittman got
great.
saved by Joe Flacco. coming
Yeah.
in, but or else he'd be a lock. But
Bro, the target shares, like I know it hasn't amounted to much, but at least he's getting the looks, you know. Like,
Laporta, they were taking him at the 2-3 turn, man. Like
I'm
Or I don't know if this one counts, but do we consider a Devontae Adams?
nah.
it's just so rough.
It's trade request. It's not even.
Yeah,
injury,
it's
really.
just like rough with him. Like,
But he's gonna get traded.
yeah. I mean,
Shit,
nah,
maybe
he's
not.
a good. I mean, I'd put Devontae on this team before Ayuk or Pittman.
Right.
Debo Samuel. But when he's played, he's been decent. But this past
Yeah.
week 3, and he missed the game. I
I think we picked between Laporta and Etienne.
Shit, I mean, I know he's been out, but throw AJ Brown out.
I mean,
there.
given where he was
No.
drafted,
That's brutal, bro.
given
Yeah,
where he was
it's-
No, it's
drafted,
just
I'm going
sad.
with.
It's just rough.
I'm going with Laporta.
Going Laporta.
2-3
Yeah,
turn. I mean, I'm going with Laporta.
Yeah.
But then you can argue Ayuk too.
I'm good on Ayuk. I think he
Yeah,
had a
I'm
good
good
game
on
this week.
Ayuk.
I think he's
The game this week saved it. If we
Yeah.
did this last week, he
Yeah,
would have been
for
a
sure.
lock. But the game this week
For
saved
sure.
him. There are just guys who haven't done shit.
Okay.
You know what I
Sam
mean?
Laporta hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
2 weeks of Michael Pittman. The last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There are guys who haven't done shit.
Yeah.
So,
Sam Laporta
Laporta,
has 26 points.
Pete Laporta, you're cool with that?
Oh hell yeah.
So our team is Anthony Richardson at quarterback, RB1 Brees Hall, RB2 Rashad White, doubled up on the Dolphins receivers, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, tight end Mark Andrews, and then our flex, another tight end, Sam Laporta.
Only because of draft position.
With my, I need to keep mentioning it just because it was my biggest miss of fantasy draft season with honorable mention to Travis Etienne. He needs to be mentioned in this conversation just because of the fact that he is literally losing his job game by game. Nah, he's had some good games.
Olave could be considered, but
Yeah.
This past week was just the disaster class of all disaster
If
classes.
this past week didn't happen, I'm throwing Garrett.
bro,
Wilson
his
in there. It was
fucking
rough.
problem is the fact that he had
First
2
week, yeah.
3-point games. Outside of that, Olave's
The floor is
12.8,
low.
20.6, and 16.7.
Look, we can say we're disappointed with a lot of players that we drafted that we had high expectations for the season, but I think what we picked, considering the average draft position, was the right choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we could pick at fucking Chris Olave, we could pick at fucking Ayuk, this and that. Like, I think what we picked, like that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, we had to. just because at this point through 5 weeks, there's some all the guys on our team, there's some highly drafted guys who have done absolutely nothing. So,
Right.
well, a guy like Ayuk, a guy like Chris Olave, they've at least helped you in some weeks. They've at least given you 1 week of helping you. And I know Tyreek had 1 week of helping you, but it's been so fucking ass.
Yeah, that was with
it's been
a lot of context.
He's
in that
losing
good
you
week,
weeks.
I got
so.
12 points from Tyreek this week, and I was thrilled.
Yeah, Brees Hall
Me
this
too.
past
I was
week
like, I'll
This
take
is
it.
just so funny. Jawan Jennings, the wide receiver, 12. Darnell Mooney, the wide receiver, 15.
No,
Wide
Darnell's
receiver,
nuts.
17, Rashid Shaheed. 19, Wandale. 21, Allen Lazard. And 22,
Alec Pierce.
Alec Pierce.
Who I will never
just
pick up off
as we
waivers.
all expected.
I will
as we
never
all
pick up
expected.
Alec Pierce and start him because he's going to get 3 targets.
And
but
Chuba
they might
Hubbard.
be the 3 coolest
And Jordan
targets.
Mason.
Yo, shout out Chuba.
You know
bro.
what's a
6
terrible-
and 7 RB.
Shout out
You know
Chuba.
what? A
for
terrible
real.
sight to see is AJ Brown out, man. So
Oh, he's
terrible.
back
He's back.
now.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah,
He's back this
Get
week.
up. Yeah, really?
Yeah, he's playing.
All right, that's a good thing, man.
Chunks,
I'd
you,
love to
you
touch him.
mentioned Olave. Any other honorable mentions? Any guys we haven't mentioned at all?
Your entire 0-5 team.
He's on 5. What league?
No, actually, this week I had the most points in the league. And that
What?
for highest.
No
Get
fucking
outta
way.
here.
Oh yeah.
Get the fuck out of
Let's
here.
go.
Wait, you get 50 every week for being the highest paid team?
Yeah.
How much is this buy?
Wait, what was the buy-in? Oh,
I really wanted to win.
Shit's balling.
dude, I would
Hey,
have
you left
made
with
some
Fucking
coin
hospital.
this year. I was a top score. I was a top scorer in a couple weeks.
Hey, maybe the comeback's on the way.
I would have never seen that coming.
It's just that I had
Don't let him get one.
3 and Joe Mixon.
I'm in a league where it's a payout
should be coming
to
back. Should be coming
at the end of the year to the dude with the most points for the season.
I like that because it
Yeah, I
gives
have
other
that
people
too, yeah.
incentive to
Yeah.
put their best.
Mine's it's $150 buy-in, but you get 100. So I mean, I kind of wanted it to be like get your full payout back, but like
Yeah.
I guess it's like a little something.
Not
Like
nothing.
Yeah.
it's a half a bone.
Chunks, you have any mentions for us? Any shouts for the old bus team that we missed, or you think we got everything?
I think we
We
busted
got
correctly.
we busted correctly. All right. We have anything else we got to talk about, or
No,
No, I'm pretty happy.
I'm content.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah.
pretty happy? All right.
What a
Close us
pod.
out, Matty J.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That was a good pod.
Hell yeah,
Good
man.
pod.
Pete?
Hopefully Nick will have something to watch. Hopefully when he's flying home soon.
Dude.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Prayers to Nick and prayers to everyone in Florida right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Stay safe out there.
That thing looks terrifying, and I hope anyone in evacuation zones got out of there, and I pray for you all. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all of our socials. Pete, thanks for coming on today, baby.
Of course, dog. Kidding me?
Appreciate
Had a great time.
Looking handsome as all
spiff.
hell.
Thank you guys.
For real. Comment your biggest fantasy bust, the guy who's busted all over you the most so far this year. Comment a W Nick.
And comment Sour Patch Kids.
Yes.
No reason.
Shout out to Sour Patch Kids X for real.
That's our dog. For
And with that,
Ball game.